The story opens at the Lai Jiang Second Academy in the year 2624, where students are gathered for the crucial class awakening ceremony. The headmaster, Liu Heng, explains that this event will determine their future in a world that has been irrevocably changed. Years ago, a virtual reality game called Eternal merged with the real world, unleashing hordes of monsters and creating dungeons. In response, humanity gained the ability to awaken classes, level up, and fight back against the monstrous threat. Among the anxious students is our protagonist, Zhu Yi, a young man who transmigrated into this world a year prior. His motivation is deeply personal. His younger sister, Zhu Yun, is afflicted with a strange, life-threatening illness, and only a high-level priest can cure her. To afford such treatment, Zhu Yi must awaken a powerful and lucrative combat class. The ceremony begins, and one student awakens as a level 24 mage, drawing gasps of admiration from the crowd. Zhu Yi watches intently, fully aware of what's at stake. As students are called one by one, it's explained that combat classes are highly respected, while lifestyle classes are looked down upon. Finally, Zhu Yi is called to the awakening platform. He steps forward with determination, but as he stands in the magic circle, nothing happens. Just as a rival teacher begins to mock the situation, the simple necklace around Zhu Yi's neck begins to radiate an intense golden light. A holographic screen, visible only to him, announces the activation of the strongest class support system. The system grants him a unique S-grade talent, Protection of the Sacred Angel, which boosts his affinity for light and divine magic. A colossal pillar of golden light erupts from him, stunning everyone present. This is no ordinary class awakening. It's a rare talent awakening phenomenon. A magnificent winged angel descends from the light and gently touches Zhu Yi's forehead, promising to always protect him. 3 golden apparitions materialize before him, which the teachers identify as legendary hidden classes. The choices are Mage of Light, Sacred Priest, and Saint Knight. After considering their strengths, the Mage's damage, the Priest's healing, and the Saint Knight's versatility, Zhu Yi chooses the Saint Knight, an all-rounder with skills in offense, defense, and support. A vision of a golden knight demonstrates the class's core virtues before Zhu Yi is consumed by light. A system window confirms his choice. He has successfully awakened the Saint Knight class, and he emerges clad in radiant golden armor. His incredible awakening makes him an instant celebrity, with fellow students clamoring to team up with him. His teacher advises him to rest before meeting the headmaster. Back in his room, Zhu Yi examines his new stats and allocates his free points into strength and constitution, feeling a tangible surge of power. This action triggers his first Saint Knight mission, a trial in a virtual mine where he must defeat an ancient rabbi monster. The stakes are real. Death in the trial means death in reality. Zhu Yi enters the trial and confronts the beast. His enhanced stats allow him to effortlessly dodge its attacks, though a minor scratch reminds him not to underestimate his opponent. He retaliates with a new skill, Blade of Pure Light, unleashing a powerful cross-shaped slash that obliterates the monster. He completes the trial with an A rank, choosing 10 extra stat points and a basic sword as his reward before being teleported back. Meanwhile, at the hospital, his sister Zhu Yun is being harassed by a nurse over an exorbitant medical bill. 2 mysterious men in suits intervene, claiming to be friends of her brother. When Zhu Yi arrives, the lead man introduces himself as Zhao Wenbing, the mayor's secretary. The mayor has taken a great interest in Zhu Yi's S-grade talent and has not only paid the hospital bills, but also provided a key to a vault full of cultivation resources and arranged for a high-level priest to treat Zhu Yun. Zhu Yi understands this generosity comes with future expectations. Later, he uses his slow recovery skill on his sister, immediately easing her pain with a warm, comforting light. The next day, the headmaster informs him that top universities are vying to recruit him. Representatives from 4 prestigious schools make astounding offers of money, rare skill books, and mentorship from powerful warriors. One even offers a priceless B-class cultivation resource. However, to everyone's shock, Zhu Yi politely declines all special admissions, stating his goal is to enter one of the top 3 universities, which only accept students based on exam results. An angered recruiter unleashes a menacing aura, but Zhu Yi stands his ground, undeterred. A month later, it's the day of the university entrance exam. As students gather, Zhu Yi's presence causes a stir, with many whispering about his bold rejection of the special offers. When the exam begins, students are teleported into a forest map. Spectators watching on monitors are horrified to see that Zhu Yi has not only entered the dungeon solo, but has also chosen the deadly nightmare difficulty, which carries a 40% mortality rate. Inside the map, Zhu Yi is immediately swarmed by monsters. He buffs his newly acquired battle axe with Weapon Blessing, causing it to glow with power, and annihilates the entire first wave in a single sweeping strike. The spectators are left speechless by his raw power. Before he can catch his breath, a second, much larger wave of monsters attacks in a coordinated swarm. Unfazed, Zhu Yi unleashes another devastating spinning attack, wiping them all out instantly. In the spectator room, the host announces that Zhu Yi cleared the first stage in a record-breaking 3 minutes and 17 seconds. He then enters the second stage, facing a balanced team of monsters, including warrior minotaurs and support-type cat monsters. They curse him, but he counters with a powerful Grade B AoE skill, Cross of the Sacred Light, which erupts in a massive cross of holy fire, incinerating all but the strongest monster. Only the silver-grade minotaur remains. The beast powers up with berserk charges, but Zhu Yi clashes with it head-on, overpowering and defeating it with his superior strength. He clears the second stage in an unbelievable 59 seconds. Without a moment's rest, he proceeds to the final boss room. There he confronts the massive gold-grade Minotaur King. As the beast roars a challenge, Zhu Yi activates all of his buffs, transforming into his shining Saint Knight form, ready to face the final test. In the climactic battle against the Minotaur King, Zhu Yi finds his fully buffed axe unable to pierce the beast's tough hide. The massive boss retaliates with a furious roar and slams its fists down, shaking the very ground he stands on. Protected by his Saint Knight armor, Zhu Yi endures the blow and realizes a direct confrontation is futile. He summons a Spear of Victory, a brilliant projectile of condensed divine light, and hurls it at the monster. While the attack lands, he understands he must exploit the Minotaur's low agility and resistance to finish it quickly. With his mana running low, he gathers his remaining energy for one final, all-out assault. He closes the distance and unleashes a devastating strike that finally fells the mighty beast. A system window announces his victory. He has cleared the Nightmare difficulty dungeon with a record-breaking time and an SSS grade, securing first place in the exam. Overjoyed, he reflects on his arduous journey and the second chance fate has given him. Upon being teleported out of the exam map, he is showered with rewards, including leveling up to 13 and receiving powerful new gear like the Forest Belt and the Minotaur King's card. He returns to the exam hall to a thunderous ovation from his fellow students and praise from the school's directors. After the ceremony, he goes to the hospital to visit his sister, Zhu Yun, who is now in a deluxe suite thanks to the mayor's support. However, as he approaches her floor, he's met with a bone-chilling cold, and the elevator doors open to reveal the entire area has been flash-frozen. He finds his sister encased in ice, with a massive ice dragon forming around her while a woman he knows as Sis King struggles to contain the energy. Sis King explains that Zhu Yun's cold disease has erupted violently. Desperate, Zhu Yi pours all his skill points into upgrading slow recovery into enhanced slow regeneration, a powerful area of effect healing skill. He unleashes a torrent of golden light that begins to thaw the ice. He instructs Sis King to contact the mayor's secretary, promising anything in return for a high-level priest. Just then, a powerful priestess named Chui Lai Na arrives, summoned ahead of schedule by Director Zhan. With a wave of her staff, she shatters the ice dragon and stabilizes Zhu Yun. The priestess reveals the shocking truth. Zhu Yun is not sick, but is undergoing a rare bloodline awakening for a freezing bloodline, and her body can't handle the immense power. She tells Zhu Yi he has only 3 months to find a legendary treasure, the freezing lotus, or his sister's power will consume her. 5 days later, Zhu Yi is training relentlessly when he receives news that his exam results have made him a national celebrity. A red-haired warrior, the previous record holder, sees the news and seethes with anger, vowing to crush this newcomer. The government rewards Zhu Yi with a fortune in cash and a luxurious mansion. Immediately, recruiters from the nation's top 3 universities descend upon him, sparking a fierce bidding war with offers of millions, rare equipment, and priceless cultivation resources. Their squabbling is interrupted by the arrival of Su Mei-er, a recruiter from the prestigious Sukang University. She makes the most compelling offer, a chance to earn S-grade resources based purely on strength, a philosophy that resonates deeply with Zhu Yi, who immediately accepts her invitation. He bids farewell to his sister and travels with Su Mei-er via a teleportation array to the incredible Sukang University, a city built into a mountain range. Upon arrival, their path is blocked by an arrogant senior student who is promptly put in his place by Zhu Yi's swift kick. Su Mei-er explains the university's brutal ranking system, confirming that as rank #001, Zhu Yi is now the target of every ambitious freshman. His status is immediately challenged by Liu Jing, a punishment knight ranked #38, who wagers 300 score points on a duel. Zhu Yi ups the ante to make an example of him. The duel begins and ends in an instant, as Liu Jing's blood slash is effortlessly sidestepped, and he is sent flying with a single, contemptuous kick from Zhu Yi. The onlookers are stunned into silence. Before the crowd can process the one-sided victory, a serene, white-haired girl wielding a legendary-grade sword approaches him. She is the 2-ranked student and challenges him to a proper match. Intrigued by her power, he accepts. Their duel is a spectacle of clashing energy, as her dark, demonic slashes meet his heavy, light-infused warhammer blows. Recognizing her strength, Zhu Yi unleashes all of his buff skills at once, his power erupting like a golden sun. He launches a spear of victory as a feint, closing the distance to land the deciding blow and end the intense spar. She gracefully concedes, admitting neither of them used their full power, and they agree to a rematch after exchanging contact information. A girl with flowing white hair and a sly smile confronts Zhu Yi, acknowledging that he's figured her out. She playfully suggests they spar again, mentioning she won't use her trump card next time, and sends him a friend request which he accepts with a serious expression. After their brief encounter, a woman with long black hair tied back greets Zhu Yi, calling him miss and leading him away. She guides him through a stunning campus built into a mountain, with traditional architecture nestled in lush greenery, explaining that the dorms are tiered by rank, with special recruits like him living at the very top. She shows him to a spacious, modern room, informing him that this will be his residence from now on. Inside, she provides him with a critical piece of information. The freezing lotus he seeks is located in the Tempest mountain range, a treacherous area guarded by powerful monsters, a location where another party had to give up their search 6 years ago. Left alone in his high-tech quarters, Zhu Yi accesses a holographic system interface, contemplating his current strength. He knows he's not strong enough to face high-level monsters, but a special system reward, a resurrection cross that allows him to revive after death, gives him the confidence to proceed. He decides to gear up and scrolls through the system's skill shop. A notification pops up. As a rank 001 Saint Knight, he can learn any skill under grade for free. His eyes light up as he rapidly acquires a host of powerful abilities, including Sacred Punch, Holy Light Shield, and Wind of Sacred Healing, all without spending a single point. His shopping spree complete, he prepares to venture into the dangerous Tempest mountain range. The scene shifts to the snowy peaks where another group is in the middle of a fierce battle. A man observes the aftermath of a fiery explosion, noting that the combatant had spent a lot of points on their forest-set equipment. Meanwhile, the white-haired girl, Jiang Chu Ran, is lounging in her room, sighing as she looks at her phone. Her green-haired friend notices her distraction and asks what's wrong. Jiang Chu Ran explains that she fought Zhu Yi and that he was completely unaffected by her charm ability, a fact that intrigues her immensely due to his powerful willpower. Determined to see him again, her friend declares she's also going to the Tempest mountain range. Back in the mountains, a team of adventurers fights for their lives against vicious purple demons. The team, consisting of a summoner who calls an ice spirit, a gunner providing cover fire, and a swordswoman slicing through enemies, struggles against the horde. Just as they think they have a moment to breathe, a monstrous multi-headed demon appears behind them, its presence overwhelmingly menacing. Resigned to their fate, the team prepares for their end. Suddenly, a colossal pillar of golden energy, a sacred storm, descends from the heavens, eradicating the demons in a blinding flash of divine light. Zhu Yi appears, the source of the immense power that saved the desperate adventurers. The battlefield is now a smoldering crater. Zhu Yi approaches the survivors, the Blue Phoenix team, and casts slow regeneration, a gentle golden aura that closes their wounds and mends their bones. Their leader, a woman with brown hair, thanks him profusely, and recognizing the danger of the area, suggests they return to base together. Zhu Yi explains he is searching for the frozen lotus and has explored the outer areas for a month to no avail, deciding to join them for now. As they travel, one of the younger members excitedly shows off her GX Spider Mech, a device that transforms into a formidable robotic suit. On their journey back, the team leader discusses the unusual appearance of the demons, theorizing that a dimensional crack may have opened nearby, as the military's Mage Tower, which monitors for epic and legendary class monsters, would not have detected these lower-level platinum-grade threats. As Zhu Yi ponders this, the ground erupts around them, and a swarm of demons claws their way to the surface, screaming for food. Without hesitation, Zhu Yi tells the Blue Phoenix team to flee while he holds the monsters off. He summons his spiritual white wolf and charges headfirst into the demonic horde. Amidst the chaos, he senses a familiar presence and sees Jiang Ran surrounded by another group of demons, her power waning. A separate group of onlookers watches from a distance, but they are too afraid to intervene, callously remarking that if she's strong enough, she might survive. Jiang Ran realizes the demons are trying to wait out her succubus power's time limit. She unleashes a massive electrical attack, shouting thunder fall, but the horde is too vast. As a demon lunges for the kill, Zhu Yi appears in a flash, shoving her to safety. The demon he strikes enraged, entering a berserk body of fire mode, its body glowing with volatile purple energy. Jiang Ran screams at him to run, explaining its power has doubled, and prepares to self-destruct to give him a chance to escape. Instead of retreating, Zhu Yi, astride his wolf, unleashes a devastating punishment of light, a storm of golden lightning that annihilates a large portion of the demonic army. He then devises a strategy, casting a series of powerful Saint Knight team buffs on Jiang Ran, including Blessing of Dawn and Gift of God. Her stats are boosted by 25%, a shocking increase that nearly doubles her combat power. Following his lead, she draws the attention of half the demons while Zhu Yi uses Shadow Whip to corral the other half. He protects her with a protection of the Holy Light Sphere before unleashing two of his strongest skills. A massive holy cross of golden fire burns through the demon ranks, followed by the swirling vortex of his sacred storm, which vanquishes every last enemy. After the battle, system notifications flood Zhu Yi's vision. He has killed 180 demons, earning enough experience to level up twice to level 18. His status window displays his significantly increased stats. As the Blue Phoenix team arrives, marveling at the sheer destruction, a terrifying demonic aura descends upon the area. The ground cracks open, and from the fissure emerge a legendary-grade demon spawn and a gold-grade flying fire dragon, signaling the start of a fourth-tier otherworld invasion. An emergency alert is broadcast to all nearby forces. The elite Snow Dragon Corps is mobilized, with knights, mages, and priests gathering at a teleportation square. Their leader, Major Zhu Zhu, declares they will be the sword and shield that protects the land. The demon general, a massive creature named Aurimas, laughs maniacally, allowing his troops one final rampage before they are to return to their realm. He summons his entire legion, a horrifying army of platinum and golden-grade demons. The Blue Phoenix team resolves to protect Zhu Yi with their lives, recognizing him as a genius whose potential is worth dying for. The Snow Dragon Corps appears in the sky, but is stopped by a massive, impenetrable dark firewall erected by the demons. The Major grimly states that it will take 2 corps to break it, and their only option is to wait 5 minutes for it to dissipate, ordering his men to record the identities of those trapped inside for their families. Inside the barrier, Zhu Yi receives a new system mission. Kill the demon's spawn, Aurimas. The demon general himself appears before Zhu Yi, his eyes burning with hatred for the one who killed his people. Zhu Yi, astride his wolf, fearlessly charges the legendary demon. He clashes with the powerful foe, his level 18 power somehow matching the legendary creature's strength. He manages to land a stunning blow with his blade of pure white and follows up with punishment of light. But Aurimas erects a fire demon's shield that nullifies the attack. Frustrated, Aurimas summons his demon generals to overwhelm the human with numbers. Out of mana and options, Zhu Yi activates a one-time use secret skill, Divine Summoning. A magnificent pillar of pure golden light engulfs him, and he emerges reborn, clad in divine armor with radiant wings of light, his power soaring to unimaginable heights. Everyone, human and demon alike, stares in absolute shock. Aurimas, enraged and perhaps a little fearful, orders his entire army to charge. Zhu Yi, now a vessel for divine power, stands alone as the last bastion of hope against the endless tide of darkness. In his angelic form, Zhu Yi is confronted by the demon general Aurimas, who is enraged at the loss of his army. The general's underlings reveal that they need 1 minute to complete a return formation, prompting Aurimas to command his flame demons to sacrifice themselves to fuel his power. The demons merge into their master, transforming him into the colossal demonic son of flames. Zhu Yi, floating serenely in his divine form, declares, "Let there be light," and unleashes a blinding wave of holy energy that clashes violently with the demon's purple flames. The demonic son of flames then unleashes his ultimate attack, Solar Flare, a massive ball of concentrated fire with the heat of a star. The two cataclysmic attacks collide in a spectacular explosion, leaving both combatants exhausted. As the dust settles, the demon mocks Zhu Yi, believing they are evenly matched, but Zhu Yi, empowered by his godlike form, declares the demon's death and obliterates him with a final, overwhelming surge of holy light. The demon's body disintegrates, his last words a vow to return as the return formation shatters. With the threat vanquished, Zhu Yi reverts to his normal form, collapsing from exhaustion. He awakens 2 days later in the infirmary to find Jiang Chu Ran watching over him. She thanks him for saving her, and in a surprising moment of affection, kisses him on the cheek. He checks his system notifications and discovers he's received a new S+ grade talent, Death Resistance, and a rare A-grade skill, Holy Flame Halo. He tests his new talent by pricking his finger and is amazed as the wound heals in seconds. As they leave, they are met by Vice Captain Wang Liang of the Snow Dragon Legion, who thanks Zhu Yi for his critical role in defeating the demons. As a reward, he offers Zhu Yi anything from the Legion's warehouse. Remembering his sister's plight, Zhu Yi asks for the S-grade treasure, the Freezing Lotus. To his relief, they have it, though it costs a staggering 100 million points. The next day, he's visited by Su King, the captain of the Blue Phoenix team, who invites him to join them, an offer he politely considers. Just then, an announcement declares the start of the freshman competition. As students gather, the hot-headed Shen Lingfeng, the #002 ranker whom Zhu Yi displaced as the district's top ranker, glares at the empty spot for rank #001, vowing to reclaim his honor. The competition begins with a secret realm challenge, and to everyone's surprise, a new abyss difficulty is available. Just as the portals open, Zhu Yi and Jiang Chu Ran arrive, both choosing the abyss difficulty and diving in. Inside, they are immediately swarmed by powerful bear monsters, which they dispatch with ease. Spectating teachers are stunned as Zhu Yi clears the first 3 stages in record time using a combination of powerful holy attacks. After clearing the final stage, Zhu Yi is given a choice of 3 new talents as a reward, selecting Focus Halo, which increases his reaction speed. He then discovers a hidden extra level and enters a ritual site, confronting a ghostly bear monster that is immune to physical attacks. He realizes the beast's unlimited revivals are fueled by a finite source of evil energy and proceeds to kill it repeatedly, draining its power until it's permanently vanquished. He emerges from the portal to find a furious Shen Lingfeng waiting for him. The teachers confirm that Zhu Yi has reached level 19, a feat deemed impossible in such a short time. Shen Lingfeng immediately challenges Zhu Yi to a duel. Before the fight, a beautiful spiritual Taoist priest named Song Xiaolan, another top-ranked freshman, asks Zhu Yi to go all out so she can witness his full power. The duel begins, and Shen Lingfeng unleashes his fire dragon bloodline power, but his fiery attacks are completely nullified by Zhu Yi's Holy Flame Halo. Zhu Yi effortlessly defeats him, showcasing an overwhelming difference in power and ending the fight with a single decisive blow. The duel with Song Xiaolan begins, and she immediately unleashes a storm of talismans that explode around Zhu Yi. He teleports behind her and strikes, but she parries, admitting his power is far greater than she anticipated. She then summons an army of bean soldiers to swarm him. Recognizing their regenerative abilities, Zhu Yi focuses on the source of the magic, unleashing a powerful attack that shatters the core talisman and forces her to surrender. After the fight, the freshman competition concludes and the recruitment phase begins. The 5 house masters introduce their respective houses: war, elemental, armament, tactic, and logistic. A fierce bidding war ensues for Zhu Yi, with house masters offering personal mentorship, legendary equipment, and forbidden techniques. The headmaster, Wang Hui, steps in and makes the ultimate offer. He will personally perform a forbidden S-grade bloodline forging technique on Zhu Yi, granting him a new, powerful bloodline. The other students are aghast at this unprecedented offer, and Zhu Yi accepts, becoming the headmaster's personal disciple. Headmaster Wang takes Zhu Yi to his private mansion, which doubles as a treasury, and explains the bloodline forging process. He presents 3 divine source bloods: Angel, Titan, and Dragon. After careful consideration, Zhu Yi chooses the Angel source blood, sensing a deep compatibility. The headmaster is impressed by his calm and rational decision-making. Back in his room, Zhu Yi drinks the lucky potion he received earlier and opens a random chest, obtaining an S-grade treasure, the Long Ning fruit, which greatly improves constitution. The next day, he goes to the headmaster's mansion for the ritual. He disrobes and sits in the center of a complex magic formation. As the headmaster activates the bloodline forging technique, Zhu Yi's latent frost bloodline awakens, clashing violently with the golden angel bloodline energy. The headmaster is shocked, realizing that Zhu Yi possesses a high-quality frost bloodline of his own, likely inherited from a powerful ancestor. The 2 divine energies battle for dominance within him, threatening to tear him apart. Just as his body reaches its limit, he enters his mental realm where he is confronted by a shadowy entity, a remnant of an evil god named Exia, which was sealed within the angel blood. The entity tries to corrupt him with promises of power, but Zhu Yi rejects its influence, and with the help of the true angel spirit, attacks the evil being. The two divine powers, now united, surge through him, obliterating the evil god's remnant and completing the fusion. He awakens from the ritual, his body transformed, having successfully merged both bloodlines to become a six-winged angel, inheriting two powerful new talents. He tests his new angel physique skill, and his power multiplies by 5 times, astonishing his new master. The headmaster then gives him the Snow Dragon Legion's reward for his actions in Tempest Valley, an outstanding achievement gold medal. This medal grants him access to military resources and confirms his status as a national hero. With the freshman competition over, the students' final rankings and rewards are announced. A fierce rivalry is shown as students challenge each other to climb the ranks. Shen Lingfeng, still bitter about his loss, is challenged and defeated again, his rank plummeting. After the competition, Su Mei finds Zhu Yi and gives him the resources promised by the Warhouse, including the icicle grass he needs to forge the frost pill for his sister. She then guides him to the university's advanced training room, explaining how to use the combat bots for real-world practice. Grateful for her help, Zhu Yi enters the training room and initiates a level 7 combat program, ready to test his newfound powers. A system window illuminates the darkness, indicating that combat monitoring has been activated, and 50 training robots have been deployed for a level 7 combat test. A young man, Zhu Yi, stands calmly as the robots surround him, his eyes glowing with focus. He decides to test his new frost power, and a brilliant blue aura swirls around his body, crackling with icy energy as he prepares his attack. With a powerful gesture, he unleashes the Frost Tempest, a massive swirling vortex of ice and wind that engulfs the entire training area, instantly freezing the horde of advanced robots solid in their tracks. A system window flashes, congratulating Mr. Zhu Yi on passing the level 7 combat form test with ease. The results screen details his impressive performance. He destroyed all 50 level 17 robots in just 3 minutes and 40 seconds, earning a grading of distinction. Unimpressed, Zhu Yi addresses the camera orb, requesting to activate the level 10 combat form immediately. A new alert pops up, stating that due to excessive damage to the training bots, a backup plan is being initiated. From the floor, a towering, supernatural-grade training robot assembles itself, its form far more complex and menacing than the previous models, stated to be equivalent to a regular level 25 class opponent. System warns that the battle can be stopped at any time if his safety is endangered, but Zhu Yi grins, excited for a real challenge where he can finally go all out. The countdown begins and the battle starts. The robot immediately unleashes a storm of golden energy slashes. Zhu Yi counters by activating his frost power, creating an icy light double, a perfect ice clone of himself, to confuse the advanced machine. Without hesitation, Zhu Yi charges forward, his hands glowing with golden light, declaring his intent to disarm his opponent first. The robot effortlessly parries his strike, and to Zhu Yi's shock, its own hand transforms into a blade of golden light, perfectly mimicking the skill he just used, revealing that the camera orb is sharing his combat data with the machine. The robot's capabilities continue to surprise him as its arm-mounted cannon morphs into a snarling, mechanical tempest wolf, a perfect replica of a powerful magical beast. Pushed to his limit, Zhu Yi realizes brute force is his only option and defiantly asks if the machine can replicate his ultimate form, the angel physique. He erupts in a blinding pillar of golden, holy energy, his power soaring to its peak. Elsewhere, a silver-haired girl named Jiang Churen monitors the training grounds, expressing disbelief that a freshman like Zhu Yi could even attempt the level 7 trial, only to be utterly shocked by a system-wide alert that a student is challenging the legendary level 10 combat form. Inside the simulation, the robot unleashes a holy chain attack, binding Zhu Yi in glowing golden chains of light that drain his strength. Using his Vision of Light ability, Zhu Yi's eyes glow, allowing him to perceive the robot's single weak point, the power source located in its chest. He breaks free and strikes the weak point with a final, desperate blow, causing the machine to overload and initiate its self-destruction sequence. Jiang Churen watches in horror as a massive explosion consumes the entire training field, leaving behind a crater of molten metal. Amidst the wreckage, a new system window declares that Mr. Zhu Yi has successfully cleared the level 10 combat form trial in a stunning 8 minutes and 32 seconds. Lying on the ground, exhausted but victorious. Zhu Yi reflects that he needs to contract a magic pet to fight alongside him to cover his weaknesses. He meets up with a beautiful, white-haired girl named Xiao Ran, who is astounded by his rapid increase in strength after just one day. He reveals his secret. He successfully finished his bloodline forging and now possesses the rare, divinity-class six-winged angel bloodline. He asks her to take him to the magic pet market to find a suitable companion. As they wander the bustling market, Zhu Yi specifies that he is looking for a tempest wolf cub, a creature he has a past connection with. A smirking, glasses-wearing upperclassman named Liu Zhu approaches them, claiming to be a level 22 trainer and offering a tempest wolf cub he cultivated himself. The cub he presents is pitifully small and appears malnourished, clearly unhealthy. Despite Xiao Ran's warnings, Zhu Yi feels a connection and agrees to purchase it for 60 points. As he forms the contract, a scroll glowing with magical energy envelops the cub. Instead of a simple binding, an immense, swirling vortex of dark purple energy erupts from the tiny creature, signifying the birth of a legendary tier magic pet. Liu Zhu's jaw drops in shock and instant regret as he realizes the malnourished cub was actually a devolved legendary beast that he just sold for a pittance. After the transformation, Zhu Yi names his powerful new companion Gray. Liu Zhu, consumed by greed, quickly changes his tune, demanding an additional 1,500 points or the return of the pet, claiming it was his mistake. Zhu Yi's expression turns cold. He unleashes a fraction of his oppressive aura, and his glare alone is enough to make the trainer feel the chilling warning of death, causing Liu Zhu to immediately backpedal and apologize profusely. Zhu Yi warns the man to stay out of his sight before leaving with Xiao Ran and Gray. Later, a soldier from the Snow Dragon Legion delivers the S-class treasure promised to him, the Frozen Lotus. With the precious item in hand, Zhu Yi heads to the university's pill department, intending to have it forged into an S-class frozen pill to help his sister. He is greeted by Sir Hetian's student Lin Yi, who is shocked that a freshman possesses such rare treasures, but agrees to have the pill forged for a fee of 800 points. While waiting, he runs into a bubbly classmate, Song Zia Lan, who is thrilled to be in the same class as him. Their instructor, Su Mei, arrives and makes a grave announcement. Large-scale invasions by otherworldly creatures have begun, and in response, the university will increase resource allocation and rewards by 70% and open the treacherous Abyss Mode dungeons to accelerate student growth. After class, Xiao Ran finds him, and they decide to challenge the Goblin Dungeon together. To the shock of everyone present, including the high-ranking student Shiming Xuan, Zhu Yi confidently selects the Abyss-level difficulty. He enters the portal alone, emerging in a ruined, desolate landscape teeming with goblins. He wastes no time, unleashing a blinding flash of golden light that eradicates the first massive wave of silver-tier goblin warriors. After battling through countless hordes, he finally confronts the dungeon's ruler, a colossal, legendary-tier goblin king wielding a massive club. The king activates its dominant body skill, making it impervious to physical attacks, so Zhu Yi gathers a massive sphere of golden magic and hurls it at the beast, exploiting its low magic resistance and blasting it away. Upon defeating the surprisingly weak boss, he receives a notification for unlocking a new grade achievement talent, Rapid Casting. He exits the dungeon to find a stunned crowd staring at the leaderboards. He has not only cleared the Abyss level, but set a new record of 10 minutes and 56 seconds, claiming the top spot. Shiming Xuan, who had just been bragging, is left humiliated and speechless. Zhu Yi casually brushes past him and reunites with a proud Xiao Ran. He then takes her into the same dungeon on hard difficulty, casting powerful buffs like Gift of God and Gift of Protection on her. Her power skyrockets, and she gleefully carves through the goblin hordes with her dark slash ability, finding the experience exhilarating. When they face the Goblin King, Xiao Ran attempts to use her demonic blade skill, but the king unexpectedly absorbs the attack's dark energy, growing even larger and more powerful. The empowered king knocks her back. Overwhelmed by guilt and a desire for more strength to help Zhu Yi, Xiao Ran succumbs to her inner darkness. Her succubus bloodline awakens, and she undergoes a dramatic transformation, sprouting demonic horns and wings as her eyes glow a menacing red. In her new form, she effortlessly overpowers the Goblin King, turning its own power against it and absorbing its demonic energy for herself. Floating before the terrified monster, she mockingly calls its power a mere appetizer before unleashing her full, unrestrained might, killing it in a final, explosive display of purple energy. The transformed Xiao Ran then turns to face Zhu Yi, a dangerous and powerful new aura radiating from her. A system notification flashes, congratulating Jiang Chu Ran on defeating the Goblin King, rewarding her with free stat points, skill points, and a massive amount of experience. A sultry, pink-haired woman with demonic features, clad in revealing black attire, licks the blood from her finger, remarking that she finally killed the annoying monster. She turns gracefully and approaches a stoic, purple-haired young man, calling him Brother Zhu Yi, and inviting him to continue. When he remains silent, she presses closer, asking if he doesn't like her in this form. The young man Zhu Yi grits his teeth, looking flustered, and steps back, asking if she is really Xiao Ran. The demonic energy around her dissipates in a swirl of purple light, revealing a girl with long white hair in a white and purple dress who explains that her transformation was due to the demonic power in her succubus bloodline. Relieved, Zhu Yi says he thought she was possessed by a demon. He tells her they should team up and tackle the abyss a few more times so she can get used to her demonic power, confident she'll be able to solo it soon. Outside the dungeon, other students stare in disbelief at a leaderboard flashing with new records. One student is shocked that the freshman who could previously only handle the hard difficulty can now solo the abyss level, while another notes she achieved this under Zhu Yi's guidance. Records continue to be broken, with Zhu Yi and Jiang Chu Ran trading the first-place spot with faster and faster clear times. Later that night, under a sky lit by magical street lamps, the two of them decide to watch a fireworks show to relax after farming the realm extensively. Jiang Chu Ran thanks Brother Zhu Yi for helping her get so much bounty from the abyss level, but he humbly says her own efforts were key. As they walk, they come across a large statue of a heroic figure. Jiang Chu Ran explains it is the mage Wai Yang, a protective deity who once defended against entire legions from another world but was tragically killed in a final battle, his soul wiped from existence. She recounts the history of the Golden Age, a time of legendary heroes, which was followed by the Dark Age and an intense invasion from another world. Though peace was eventually won after 30 years of fighting and immense sacrifice, she worries about the recent resurgence of otherworldly creatures. Zhu Yi comforts her, patting her head and reassuring her that humanity is much stronger now and that any invaders would be the unfortunate ones. As the fireworks begin to explode in the night sky, creating a dazzling display of light, he takes her hand and suggests they find a better position to watch. After parting ways, Zhu Yi sits on a train, lamenting that he can't use a military teleportation array to get home instantly, holding a glowing blue pill in his hand, and thinking that his sister Xiao Yun's disease will no longer be an issue. At his home, a young girl with short blue hair and an eye patch, Xiao Yun, sighs, asking a blonde woman named Sister King why her big brother isn't here yet. Just as Sister King reassures her, Zhu Yi bursts through the door, announcing his return. Xiao Yun joyfully leaps into his arms, welcoming him home. He holds her, relieved to see she's so energetic, and she confirms she has been taking her medicine. Later, Zhu Yi greets Sister King, explaining he can only stay for 3 or 4 days to complete Xiao Yun's final treatment. The energetic Xiao Yun asks if he brought her any gifts, and he reveals a magical horn, an abyss-level reward that can summon a golden-grade bear monster ghost for protection. Sometime after, Zhu Yi stands at his front door, greeting a man in a suit, Secretary Zhao, and a woman in a white hooded robe, Madame Chui. Madame Chui explains that Zhu Yi's invitation is not something to be taken lightly. Inside, Zhu Yi thanks her for coming, and she congratulates him on not only finding the frozen lotus, but also forging it into the even more potent frost pill. Secretary Zhao is stunned, recognizing the S-grade pill as a priceless treasure in high demand. Zhu Yi decides to begin the treatment immediately, and in a different room, a nervous Xiao Yun peeks from behind a curtain, asking if this is really fine. He reassures her as she stands in the center of a large, glowing blue magic circle, explaining that she just needs to eat the pill to awaken her frost bloodline. Before she does, Zhu Yi's body erupts in a golden aura as he casts 3 powerful buffs on her: Blessing of Protection, Blessing of Dawn, and Blessing of Courage. Xiao Yun exclaims that she feels incredibly strong. Madame Chui, impressed by the purity of Zhu Yi's holy light, prepares to activate the formation. As the runes on the floor glow intensely, Zhu Yi tells Xiao Yun to eat the frost pill now. She consumes the pill, and a massive torrent of blue frost energy bursts from her body, freezing the air around her. Madame Chui looks on in concern, but Zhu Yi calmly states he will handle it. He unleashes a sacred flame halo, a ring of golden fire that suppresses the chaotic frost energy. Madame Chui confirms that the hardest step is over, and they just need to wait for the bloodline awakening to complete. Inside the swirling vortex of blue energy, Xiao Yun's eyes glow with power. The energy stabilizes, and Madame Chewy observes that the bloodline has been completely activated. Zhu Yi helps his sister to her feet, asking how she feels. With a bright smile, Xiao Yun declares that her sickness is completely cured. Following his instruction, she checks her status and excitedly announces that her frost bloodline has granted her a talent to control the ice element, demonstrating by forming a small ice bird in her hand. She asks if she can receive new talents, and Zhu Yi explains that regular awakenings don't usually grant them, but her rare frost bloodline is special. He asks Madame Chewy to perform a final check, and Secretary Zhao returns to report that not only is Xiao Yun completely cured, but the mayor is taking this news very seriously and has arranged for another batch of resources for Zhu Yi's cultivation. Later, as Xiao Yun lies on the couch, she tells her brother she wants her future class to be a mage. Suddenly, her expression shifts, her eyes glowing red as she dramatically speaks of a dark power awakening within her, much to Zhu Yi's bewildered confusion. Madame Chewy watches from the side, amused, while noting that Miss Zhu Yun isn't usually like this. Before Zhu Yi can react to the bizarre display, Xiao Yun playfully runs away, shouting for Sister King to save her from her brother. Some time later, Zhu Yi prepares to return to school, entrusting a small, gray magic pet cat to Xiao Yun to keep her company. As he walks through a moonlit courtyard, a woman surrounded by a swirling blue aura appears before him. It's Miss Su, who informs him that the National Freshman Exchange competition is beginning soon, and he, as the first-place winner of their school's competition, must lead the team. She presents him with a list of the top 10 students from which he must pick 4 teammates. Without hesitation, Zhu Yi chooses the top 4, Jiang Churan, Song Zia Lan, Tang Lingyi, and Wai Tai Zin. Miss Su cautions him that his choice is too hasty, pointing out the lack of a priest for stamina conservation in later rounds. Zhu Yi confidently dismisses the concern, stating that if they defeat their opponents quickly enough, recovery won't be an issue, and he is sure he can take first place in the individual brackets as well. Satisfied with his confidence, Miss Su agrees to hand the roster to Housemaster Wu. Before she leaves, Zhu Yi asks if she knows where to find a hidden class conversion book for his sister. He explains his urgency, wanting Xiao Yun to be able to protect herself. Miss Su tells him that while the school has them, they are not easy to buy, and he should focus on the upcoming competition. As she departs in a flash of blue energy, Zhu Yi checks the school's net and sees the stringent purchase limitations for the book, including a cost of 20,000 points for the cheapest one. A new system mission promptly appears, offering rewards based on his performance in the national competition. At a meeting, school officials review Zhu Yi's submitted team roster. One of them immediately questions the lack of a priest, calling the team composition too risky. However, another official defends the choice, expressing his belief that Zhu Yi's abilities are more than enough to replace the role of a priest, noting that no one knows his power better than he does. They ultimately decide to trust his judgment, hoping he will surprise them in the competition. Meanwhile, Zhu Yi is engaged in grueling physical training, chained and lifting immense weights, when he receives a message from his master, Wang Hui, summoning him for a one-on-one class. Excited at the prospect of learning new skills, he accepts and chooses skill points as his daily mission reward. In a dense forest, his master explains that the area is home to countless monsters, which are kept in check by a level 62 legendary dragon, the magic pet of Zhu Yi's senior brother. Zhu Yi is stunned to learn his senior is level 64 at only 30 years old. His master then declares he will teach Zhu Yi a special skill, Holy Light Heart Shield. A massive golden shield of pure holy light manifests in the sky. Zhu Yi connects his consciousness to the skill book and instantly learns the plus-grade legacy skill. His master explains the shield was created by Zhu Yi's grandmaster and that he is now passing it on. Zhu Yi demonstrates the skill, summoning 2 golden shields of light in front of him. He claps them together, causing them to merge and detonate in a brilliant, explosive wave of energy. Impressed, his master explains the skill's tactical use in separating battlefields, and then announces the beginning of a practical combat lesson. A massive red dragon orders the surrounding monsters to attack Zhu Yi. Undaunted, Zhu Yi declares, "No problem, master," as countless glowing red eyes appear in the darkened woods. As the horde of monsters charges, he buffs himself with blessing of God, protection, dawn, and courage, his body glowing with an intense golden aura. He clashes with the beasts, his attacks leaving trails of golden light as he effortlessly tears through their ranks, a whirlwind of divine power against the tide of darkness. After the battle, Zhu Yi sits exhausted amidst the fallen monsters, having used all his stamina and mana. His master appears, impressed that he defeated around 400 monsters instead of the expected 100. Having reached level 22 from the fight, Zhu Yi immediately uses his new skill points to upgrade his Holy Light Heart Shield to a new level. With the training concluded, his master reminds him to stay cool during the competition, and Zhu Yi stands, his confidence unwavering, and declares, "With me here, the first place is ours." At the Tempest Forest Rest Station, students from various schools gather for the start of the competition, buzzing with excitement. Some notice Suhang University's team list and mock their non-mainstream lineup for lacking a priest. At another table, supporters of Zhu Yi laugh off the criticism, knowing how powerful their captain truly is. A short while later, Zhu Yi arrives at the War House Court, apologizing to his waiting teammates for being late. After a brief introduction to the teams, two new members, Level 18 Warrior Wai Tai Zai and Level 18 Mage Tang Ling Zai, their trainer. Housemaster Wu announces their training will begin immediately. They will start by challenging the Abyss-level Goblin Dungeon realm to improve their coordination. Inside the purple-tinged dungeon, Zhu Yi takes command, laying out the battle plan. Wai Tai Zin will tank, Jiang Churan and Tang Ling Zai will focus on damage, while he and Song Zia Lan provide support from the back. As the goblins appear, Wai Tai Zin charges forward, but before she can engage, Zhu Yi's body erupts in a golden glow as he instantly casts 3 buffs on her. The entire team is stunned by his incredible casting speed, with the mage Tang Ling Zai noting that even a professional struggles to be that fast. While they are distracted, a goblin archer takes aim, but Zhu Yi warns them of the sneak attack. A shield materializes just in time to block the arrow, protecting them as they realize the goblins in this realm are more advanced than they're used to. Zhu Yi unleashes Punishment of Light, incinerating a group of archers in a pillar of golden flame, telling the team he'll handle the annoying enemies while they focus on the rest. A lone warrior with long white hair stands amidst a horde of shadowy goblins, her expression grim before she unleashes a devastating attack, crying out "Shadow Slash." A brilliant violet energy erupts in a massive X-shaped wave, tearing through the monsters. Following this, a brown-haired woman in golden robes summons 5 glowing orbs of red energy, shouting 5 thunders of justice. A blue-haired girl in a witch's hat then casts Wind Magic Tornado, swirling vortex of blue energy that engulfs the remaining goblins. A muscular brawler named Tai Zin leaps into the fray, his body wreathed in red energy, delivering the final blow with an air-cracking kick. The team easily wipes out the horde, and Tai Zin celebrates, feeling good about how easily they crushed the goblins thanks to Brother Yi's buffs. The blue-haired mage confirms there are no more goblins, and a dark-haired young man in a black and yellow striped shirt. Zhu Yi reminds them that the boss battle is next and they can't let their guard down. The team feels confident, with one member boasting that with Zhu Yi's buffs, the realm is a piece of cake and he could clear it by himself, causing Zhu Yi to sigh at their overconfidence. They arrive before a massive, foreboding stone door pulsing with purple runic energy, believing the final boss is inside. Zhu Yi feels something is off but pushes the door open anyway. From the darkness within, a deep voice says, "You're finally here, foolish children." A colossal horned creature, the second Goblin King, a legendary grade level 25 boss, reveals itself, surrounded by a suffocating purple aura. It cackles, having prepared gifts for them, and launches a massive, swirling fireball. A female warrior named Ling Zai shouts, "Shield," and attempts to block the attack, but the sheer power of the blast overwhelms her, shattering her defense. Even with her strength doubled by Zhu Yi's buffs, she struggles against the monster's regular attack. As the team panics, Zhu Yi tells them to fall back and unleashes his own magic, Power of Frost. A magnificent glowing blue lotus of ice crystals forms, colliding with the massive fireball and containing the explosion. The captain warns that this is no regular fireball. Zhu Yi, holding the contained flame in his hand, notes that it is indeed tricky. A girl in golden robe steps forward, saying she will take the lead, and casts a spell using talismans, shouting "Burst." The resulting explosion, however, has absolutely no effect on the Goblin King, who mockingly asks, "Is this all you got, little ones?" Other team members launch their own attacks, including fire magic arrows and a demonic blade, but the boss is unimpressed, finding it interesting but ultimately declaring, "But it ends." He unleashes a wave of dark purple energy, proving the level difference is too vast for the team to handle. Just as they lose hope, Zhu Yi steps forward, a calm expression on his face, saying, "Don't worry, I'm still here." He effortlessly disperses the boss's dark energy with a wave of his own purple aura. He tells his battered team to leave the rest to him. He activates his light of true sight, his eyes glowing gold as he analyzes the boss, realizing its stats are double that of the previous one, and that this is a special test from Housemaster Wu. Deciding to end it, Zhu Yi announces he will show them his true power and activates his angel divine physique. A blinding explosion of golden light envelops him, and he emerges transformed into a holy warrior, clad in ornate golden armor with 6 massive, radiant angel wings, his power immense. The Goblin King taunts him, calling him a shiny bird, to which Zhuyi calmly replies, "As you wish," and unleashes a shining pulse, a massive wave of golden holy energy. The boss counters with Apocalypse Meteor Fire, a swirling vortex of purple and yellow destructive magic. The two colossal attacks collide, but Zhuyi's holy power completely nullifies the meteor fire, leaving the Goblin King in stunned disbelief. Zhuyi chains the shocked boss with a holy light chain, golden energy wrapping around its body, before summoning a massive spear of victory that descends from the heavens. He follows up with a light flame storm, a swirling vortex of holy fire that engulfs the screaming boss. The beast, enraged, is bound again by a lightning binding as Zhuyi apologizes for the fight not being fun enough. With a final declaration, "I'll send you off," Zhuyi obliterates the boss in a final, massive explosion of light. A system notification announces his victory, having cleared the Abyss-level realm in 21 minutes and 16 seconds. Zhuyi receives 236 experience points, 10 free stat points, and 10 skill points. After the battle, a concerned teammate rushes to his side, but he assures her he's just exhausted. They inspect the loot. A golden staff, shield, and ring, all level 24, which are too high level for his teammates to use. Zhuyi offers to auction the items and split the points evenly, but his team insists he take a 70% share since he was the key to their victory. He convinces them to split it equally, emphasizing that they need the points to prepare for the upcoming exchange competition. His words motivate them, and they all vow to train harder. Suddenly, Housemaster Wu and Miss Su appear, congratulating the team on their performance, which far surpassed their expectations. Wu informs them that the exchange competition will begin in 1 week at Qingjing University, and that he will take them there via a special teleportation point. The team is teleported in a swirling vortex of blue energy. They arrive instantly at Qingjing University, a feat only possible for tertiary awakened mages. They are greeted by Housemaster Cheng, an old rival of Housemaster Wu, and the two exchange pleasantries and veiled boasts about their students. After settling in, Zhuyi uses his accumulated experience to level up, reaching level 23. He reflects on his skills, knowing he needs to reach the next awakening to learn more powerful abilities. The National Freshman Exchange Competition begins with a grand ceremony. Zhuyi's team from Sukang University, the reigning champions, are the first to be introduced, their first opponents being Rongyang University. The Rongyang team is immediately intimidated when they see Zhuyi as level 23. As the match begins, Zhuyi wastes no time, instantly casting 4 powerful buffs on his entire team. Blessing of God, Protection, Dawn, and Courage, all of which manifest as golden auras. The spectators and rival instructors are stunned by the speed and potency of his large-scale buffs, which increase his team's strength by almost 50%. Faced with the empowered and menacing Sukang team, the Rongyang squad trembles in fear. Following a simple plan to attack all at once, the Sukang team overwhelms their opponents in a flurry of fire magic arrows, an air-breaking fist, and a demonic blade, winning the match instantly. The team finds the victory too easy, feeling bored and unchallenged. The event then moves to individual matches. Zhuyi's turn comes in the 9th match against Liu Qiang, a level 18 swordsman. Liu Qiang arrogantly dismisses Zhuyi as a mere support class and tells him to surrender to lose with dignity. Zhuyi smirks, challenging him to last 10 breaths against him. The swordsman charges, but Zhuyi moves with blinding speed, leaving afterimages. He effortlessly blocks Liu Qiang's attacks with a wall of ice crystals before countering with a simple flick of his wrist, which unleashes a massive golden energy dragon that slams into the shocked opponent, sending him flying out of the ring and ending the match in a single blow. A notification declares Liu Qiang can no longer battle, with Zhuyi as the victor. Zhuyi casually remarks that his opponent was too weak, unable to block even a single punch from a grade C skill, leaving the audience and other competitors in stunned silence at his terrifying power. A man with long blue hair named Zhu Heng takes an urgent call in his office from his daughter, Xiao Bai. She excitedly tells him that she has found a powerful individual named Zhuyi, who has awakened the Frost bloodline with a purity of over 70%. Zhu Heng is visibly shocked by this news, realizing this could be the salvation their family, the Tianlan Zhu clan, desperately needs, and he immediately instructs his daughter to get close to Zhuyi while he begins his own investigation. Meanwhile, in a massive, starlit tournament arena, contestants Lai Xin and Zhuyi are being introduced. Lai Xin, clad in a blue and white combat uniform, appears arrogant, telling his companions he doubts Zhuyi will present a real challenge. Despite a warning from a friend about Zhu Yi's strength, Lai Xin powers up, enveloping himself in a crackling blue aura from his Tempest armor set. In a private viewing box, another blue-haired girl, Dronzer, arrives with her father, Zhu Heng. She calls out to her sister, Xiao Bai, who is already there. Zhu Heng explains their presence, revealing that Zhu Yi might belong to a long-lost branch of their family. Dronzer is initially dismissive of Zhu Yi's Saint Knight class, but her father explains that with a bloodline purity over 70%, Zhu Yi is qualified to awaken their family's secret hidden class. This stuns Dronzer, who knows that the most promising youth in their main family branch only possesses 40% purity, though she remains skeptical of Zhu Yi's actual combat prowess. The match is officially announced. Mada University's Lai Xin versus Suhang University's Zhu Yi. In the center of the arena, Lai Xin declares his intention to go all out. Zhu Yi, dressed in a simple t-shirt, remains calm and composed. Lai Xin can sense his opponent's underlying strength, but arrogantly notes the 5-level gap between them, deciding to hold back his ultimate skills for a later match. As the countdown ends, the fight begins, and Zhu Yi is instantly enveloped in the golden glow of a blessing of protection. Lai Xin opens with a swift low kick, but Zhu Yi blocks it with ease, shocking his opponent. Zhu Yi immediately counters with a light elbow, a blow so powerful it makes Lai Xin feel as if his high-grade armor is completely useless. Without pausing, Zhu Yi unleashes a furious, consecutive holy punches, a dazzling barrage of golden glowing fists that overwhelms the fighter. The crowd watches in stunned silence as the supposed support-class warrior batters his opponent, causing Lai Xin's armor to visibly crack under the relentless assault. Preparing one final, devastating punch, Zhu Yi lunges forward. Lai, knowing he cannot block the attack, desperately screams his surrender just a moment before the blow connects. The match is called, and Zhu Yi is declared the winner. He sighs to himself, lamenting how difficult it is to properly hide his true strength. The spectators are in disbelief, stunned by the Saint Knight's incredible close combat skills. Down in the arena, Zhu Yi approaches the defeated Lai Xin and casts a holy light spell, apologizing for not being able to pull back his final punch in time due to the sudden surrender. He leaves the rest to the medical team. A responding nurse is horrified at the severity of Lai Xin's wounds, remarking that it will take several days for him to heal completely, and expressing her astonishment that a Saint Knight could inflict such damage. Back in the private box, Zhu Heng's daughters are deeply impressed. Dronzer finally concedes that Zhu Yi is incredibly powerful. Pleased that his younger daughter is finally convinced, Zhu Heng instructs Xiao Bai to arrange a meeting with Zhu Yi for him. As another match concludes with Jiang Chu ran from Zhu Yi's university, winning via a decisive shadow slash, the audience buzzes about the unexpected strength of the Su Hang team this year. After her victory, Jiang Chu ran chats with Zhu Yi, admitting that if she were matched against him, she would have no choice but to surrender. Their conversation is interrupted by Xiao Bai, who introduces herself as a member of the Tian Lan Zhu family and explains she is there because of his awakened Frost bloodline. She offers to prove their connection with a bloodline examiner stone, claiming that if he is truly part of their family, the stone will resonate with him. Intrigued, Zhu Yi agrees to the test. The moment Zhu Yi touches the stone, it erupts in a blinding, brilliant blue light. Xiao Bai gasps in shock, exclaiming that his bloodline purity is over an unbelievable 90%. She eagerly invites him to meet her father, and Zhu Yi accepts, with Jiang Chu Ran cautioning him not to feel pressured by the situation. Zhu Yi is led to a private room where he is introduced to Zhu Heng. The older man compliments Zhu Yi's extraordinary presence and reveals their shared ancestry, making Xiao Bai his distant cousin. He then gets straight to business, making a grand offer: the full, unconditional support of the Zhu family's vast resources to help him achieve tertiary awakening, on the condition that he rejoins the main family branch and changes his class to their exclusive hidden ice elemental class. Zhu Yi, curious, asks how it's possible to change a class he has already awakened. Zhu Heng assures him that they possess special, rare items for precisely this kind of situation. Zhu Yi quietly contemplates the offer of plenty of resources. After a moment of thought, Zhu Yi flatly refuses the offer. He states that their promises hold no appeal to him, as he can acquire all the resources he needs from his university, and more importantly, he prefers his Saint Knight class. Zhu Heng scoffs, dismissively labeling the Saint Knight a mere heavy support class. Zhu Yi retorts that such a view is born of ignorance. He tells them to watch his team match the next day against King Jing University, where he will demonstrate the true power of a Saint Knight, before taking his leave. Dronzer is frustrated, questioning why her father didn't try harder to make him stay. Zhu Heng calmly explains his strategy. They will approach Zhu Yi again after he has personally witnessed the overwhelming power of King Jing's main damage dealer. When Dong-er objects to this passive approach, her father sighs and decides it is time to reveal the family's dire secret. He recounts the story of their ancestor, the first human to awaken the Frost bloodline. During the Dark Ages, however, their most powerful elders were lost in a war against monsters from another world, and the family's bloodline was afflicted with an insidious curse. This curse has drastically reduced the chances of awakening the Frost bloodline among their descendants, leaving the once mighty family in a state of slow decline. Zhu Heng explains that Zhu Yi, with his unprecedentedly high purity, represents their last and only hope for reversing their family's fate. He remains confident that once Zhu Yi faces the might of the King Jing team, he will understand his limitations and realize that he needs the family's power. His daughter Dong-er then poses a crucial question that hangs in the air. But Dad, what if Zhu Yi wins? The next day, the stadium is filled to capacity for the highly anticipated team match. As the teams are introduced, Zhu Yi takes his position at the very front of his formation and summons a colossal, glowing light warhammer, signaling his intent to act as the team's vanguard. The opposing King Jing team, led by their captain Lai Yuan, is surprised to see a Saint Knight taking on the role of a damage dealer. Their mage, Lu Zhu, is openly dismissive of the idea. Lai Yuan rallies his team, reminding them of their defeat to Su Hang in the previous year's tournament and urging them to fight with everything they have. On the Su Hang side, Zhu Yi calmly gives his own instructions, telling his teammates to follow his lead and promising to provide healing whenever needed. The match begins, and Zhu Yi wastes no time. He instantly casts a series of buffs on his entire team before charging forward alone. The King Jing team, taken aback by his aggressive solo rush, decides to counter with a barrage of their most powerful long-range attacks. Their archer, Zia Lan, unleashes her signature skill, Arrows of Suffocation. A volley of homing arrows made of green energy converges on Zhu Yi. He dismisses them as a little annoying and effortlessly shatters the entire volley with his bare hands, leaving Zia Lan in stunned disbelief. While she is still processing what happened, her teammate Lu Zhu completes the casting of his ultimate spell, Fire Phoenix. A gigantic bird made of pure raging fire materializes and soars towards Zhu Yi. Spectators recognize the plus-grade skill and wonder how he could possibly survive it. Instead of retreating, Zhu Yi confronts the fiery beast head-on, activating a new unknown skill, Holy Flame Light Wheel. A radiant, sun-like wheel of golden holy fire manifests behind him. To the utter astonishment of everyone watching, he reaches out and completely absorbs the massive fire phoenix. Zhu Yi then explains that his skill allows him to manipulate fire as well. The arena erupts in chaos as the audience realizes he possesses an incredibly rare, divine-blessed skill. This revelation sends shockwaves through the stadium. A divine-blessed skill is a direct gift from a god, something that cannot be learned or taught. In his private box, Zhu Heng's face pales with the grim understanding that Zhu Yi's power was bestowed upon him by the god of light himself. He explains to his daughters that their family's curse has severed their connection to the frost goddess, making their own offers seem insignificant compared to the favor Zhu Yi has already received from another deity. Despite this, he resolves to try and speak with Zhu Yi again after the match. Down in the arena, the King Jing team scrambles to adjust their strategy. Lu Zhu is instructed to use different elemental magic, while Zia Lan continues to fire Tempest arrows in an attempt to slow Zhu Yi's advance, which is met by a simple Holy Light Shield. Realizing he needs to break their defensive formation, Zhu Yi unleashes a massive Holy Flame Storm. The swirling vortex of fire forces the King Jing team to scatter, but Lu Zhu is caught inside the inferno. Lu Zhu emerges from the flames, his body badly burned, collapses. As Zhu Yi prepares to finish him, team captain Lai Yuan intercepts the attack, while their priest rushes to heal the fallen mage. Lai Yuan attacks with a light slash, but Zhu Yi blocks the blade with his bare arm, revealing his skin to be as durable as a shield, shocking Lai Yuan with his immense physical power. Unwilling to yield, Lai Yuan unleashes his Rage Slash, a move powerful enough to slay high-level monsters. Yet Zhu Yi casually parries every blow, looking completely unimpressed, before finally disarming his opponent with a single powerful strike. As Zhu Yi moves to end the confrontation, his final attack is blocked by an invisible barrier, a holy light protection spell cast by an unseen ally. The spell was cast by Wang Xuan, the team's mechanist, using a stealth robot. However, the robot is instantly located and destroyed by one of Zhu Yi's summoned spears of light. Wang Xuan admits that he was hiding his true strength for a later match, but Zhu Yi's power has forced his hand. He unleashes his ace in the hole, a massive army of high-level robots. The spectators realize that Wang Xuan possesses the S+ grade talent Mechanical Heart, enabling him to build machines far beyond his own level. Zhu Yi simply smirks at the mechanist's swarm tactic and charges into the metallic horde. He responds with a holy light cross, a colossal cross of golden energy that decimates a large portion of the robot army in a single explosive attack. Wang Xuan grows frustrated as another wave of his robots is effortlessly destroyed by Zhu Yi's holy storm. Realizing that a swarm is useless, Wang Xuan deploys his final trump card, summoning the parts for his ultimate creation. Checks Judgment. The massive components combine in the center of the arena, creating a colossal robot so large that it triggers an emergency increase in the stadium's defensive barriers. The crowd stares in awe as a legendary grade machine appears in the competition for the first time. Lai Yuan cheers for his teammate's ultimate weapon as Wang Xuan, piloting the giant mech, confidently declares Zhu Yi's defeat. The HX Judgment unleashes a massive missile barrage, but Zhu Yi dodges the volley with contemptuous ease, calling the attack unoriginal. In the blink of an eye, he appears directly behind the robot's cockpit, shocking Wang Xuan. The pilot laughs maniacally as the mech swings a giant purple energy blade, vaporizing the ground but failing to hit the nimble Zhu Yi. A purple-armored warrior with fiery red hair taunts Zhu Yi, questioning if running is all he knows and calling the students of Su Hang University cowards. A smirk crosses the red-haired man's face as Zhu Yi, with a determined expression, stops and declares he will fight him head-on, falling for the simple provocation. With a confident glare, Zhu Yi raises his hand, which begins to glow with an immense golden power as he activates his God Hand skill. The golden aura radiates outwards, draining the energy from the floating monitor drones that maintain the arena's shields, causing them to flicker and fail. The power erupts in a blinding flash, forcing the opposing team to shield their eyes and retreat. The red-haired captain orders his team not to give chase, sensing that something is wrong. They look on in shock as a colossal, glowing golden hand materializes in the sky above Zhu Yi, an entity radiating terrifying pressure. The captain grits his teeth in disbelief, recognizing the S-class divine skill and realizing the power difference is like that between heaven and earth. Refusing to be intimidated, he roars and activates his own ultimate ability, Judgment Extreme Mode, his body erupting in a violent torrent of purple and red energy. He unleashes a massive wave of dark energy toward Zhu Yi, but it dissipates harmlessly against the overwhelming power of the Golden God Hand. The captain can only watch in horror as the divine power completely engulfs him, triggering a cataclysmic explosion that shatters the entire arena floor into rubble. In the aftermath, the opposing team stands defeated, one member weakly uttering, "We lost." The red-haired captain lies broken amidst the debris, whispering Zhu Yi's name in defeat as his consciousness fades. The entire stadium erupts in a deafening roar, chanting Zhu Yi's name. The spectators, completely stunned by the holy light that resembled a nuclear explosion. Observing from a high platform, two housemasters comment on the battle. One admits he thought his student Wang Xuan would be this year's champion, but he never expected a monster like Zhu Yi to appear, praising him as a powerful all-rounder. The other housemaster agrees, noting that Su Hang University has found a truly exceptional student. Meanwhile, Zhu Yi's teammates celebrate their victory, acknowledging that they would have surely lost to the level 23 legendary robot without his intervention. In a darkened control room, a woman in a blue uniform watches the battle data, identifying Zhu Yi as a genius that her Tianyu guild desperately needs. She assures her subordinate that even though Zhu Yi's power is now known to all, it's not too late to recruit him, confidently stating that her junior brother will, sooner or later, belong to Tianyu. In the infirmary, the defeated team is tended to by priests, who struggle to dispel the vicious holy light still lingering on their bodies. Their housemaster consoles them, stating that their loss was not their fault, as Zhu Yi was simply on another level of strength. The defeated captain, Wang Xuan, lies in his bed, bandaged and weak, but his eyes burn with resolve as he acknowledges Zhu Yi's strength and swears to challenge him again after he completes his own secondary awakening and unlocks his S+ grade talent. Later, a man with long blue hair, a representative of the Zhu family, approaches Zhu Yi, apologizing for having misjudged him and extending a formal invitation to rejoin the family, promising the full support of the family head and the elders. Zhu Yi remains unimpressed, stating that his master, Wang Hui, can provide for him, and more importantly, he has his system, which is all he truly needs to grow stronger. Seeing the representative's desperation, Zhu Yi reveals he has a sister whose frost bloodline purity is 3 times higher than the representative's, making her a prime candidate for one of the family's 3 hidden classes. The representative is thrown into ecstatic disbelief, laughing with joy and declaring that the heavens have truly graced the Zhu family, as his sister's purity level would allow her to choose any of the hidden classes and secure the family's future. Zhu Yi calls his sister, Zhu Yun, who excitedly congratulates him on his one-sided stomp of a victory. After she gushes about all the girls at her school wanting his contact information, he explains the Zhu family's offer. He shows her a holographic projection of the 3 hidden classes: Frost Archer, Frost Swordsman, and Ice Mage. Determined to become strong enough to stand by her brother's side and not be a burden, Zhu Yun decisively chooses the Ice Mage class, confident that its elemental attacks are perfect for her. The competition moves to the 4th round, where the announcer reveals the reward for reaching the quarterfinals is a rare S-grade mana potion, causing the crowd to buzz with excitement. The grand prize for the tournament champion is then announced: a custom-made legendary-grade weapon forged by the master craftsman Kai Jun of the Class Alliance. With his eyes set on the prize, Zhu Yi declares that he must win the championship. He enters the arena to face his next opponent, a hulking knight in full plate armor named Feng Qiang. Feng Qiang acknowledges Zhu Yi's power, but boasts that he has poured all of his points into strength and is supremely confident in his raw power. The match begins, and Feng Qiang charges forward. However, Zhu Yi, now wielding a massive warhammer, meets the charge head-on and with a single earth-shattering swing completely overpowers the knight, sending him flying backward. Standing over his defeated opponent, hammer resting on his shoulder, Zhu Yi mockingly asks, "Just strength, and just this?" Onlookers are aghast. An expert in the crowd calculates that Feng Qiang's strength stat with buffs is around 370, meaning Zhu Yi's must be over 450 to achieve such a dominant victory. A powerful warrior named Wei He, when asked about his chances against Zhu Yi, grimly admits he only has a 3 in 10 chance of winning. Despite his defeat, Feng Qiang pushes himself to his feet, declaring that a knight only dies standing and never loses kneeling. Impressed by his opponent's spirit, Zhu Yi calls him a true man and ends the match with a final, decisive blow from his hammer of repentance, prompting the opposing coach to immediately surrender. A day later, Zhu Yi and his team are briefed by their housemaster, who congratulates them on having 2 students in the quarterfinals. He offers words of encouragement to Jiang Churen, who is unfortunately eliminated by the formidable Wei He but still has a chance to fight her way back through the loser's bracket. Later, while relaxing, Zhu Yi is suddenly swarmed by a group of adoring female fans who eagerly ask for his autograph, leaving him completely flustered. Elsewhere, Jiang Churen feels a sudden, unsettling sensation, as if she is being targeted by an unknown predator. The loser's bracket competition begins in a virtual realm called the Missing Forest, a place where contestants must survive 3 waves of mysterious monsters, with the top 2 kill counts advancing. Without warning, contestants begin screaming in agony, their skin erupting in grotesque purple growths as they are consumed by an unseen enemy. Jiang Churen quickly deduces that the threat is invisible spores floating in the air, which multiply on contact. She yells for the other contestants to use fire skills for protection while she locates the source, monstrous mushrooms clinging to the trees. Unleashing her black fire skill, she incinerates the spore-releasing fungi, rapidly accumulating kills. The scene flashes to a team match where Zhu Yi is calmly directing his teammates, using the battle as a live training exercise to correct their flaws. He glances at his phone, a small smile on his face as he reads a message from Jiang Churen. "I passed." The final day of the tournament arrives, pitting the 2 strongest freshmen against each other: Zhu Yi, the Saint Knight who rose from nothing, and Wei He, the elite warrior from a prestigious family. As the 2 champions enter the arena, the crowd roars with anticipation. Face to face, Zhu Yi declares he will defeat Wei He and claim the championship. In a skybox high above, the head of the Zhu family watches intently, whispering that she sees the shadows of their ancestors in Zhu Yi. The match begins, and Wei He immediately activates a flurry of buffs, including Berserk and Flame Blade technique, cloaking himself in a furious red aura. He lunges forward with Lightning Slash, a skill leveled up to near perfection. Zhu Yi calmly counters with a level 9 Holy Cross, the clash of power shaking the arena. Realizing he's still at a disadvantage, Wei He activates his S-grade Awakened Talent, Fighting Rage, a skill that reduces all incoming damage by 80% for 2 minutes. Knowing a battle of attrition against a Saint Knight is suicide, he gambles everything on a swift, decisive victory. He unleashes his ultimate attack, Spear of Victory, a concentrated beam of destructive energy. But Zhu Yi is ready, unleashing his divine skill, Punishment of Light, which calls down a relentless storm of holy lightning strikes from the heavens. Wei He is horrified by the speed and intensity of the bombardment, realizing Zhu Yi's skill has been leveled far beyond normal limits. The holy lightning overwhelms his defenses, and he is blasted backward, unable to close the last 10 meters between them. With a final, desperate roar, he attempts to activate a forbidden secret technique to turn the tables. Why he unleashes his ultimate technique. Thousand Shadow Blade City, filling the arena with countless crimson blades that swirl like a vortex of death. An elder explains that this is the legendary Y family technique, created by their ancestors to kill a city of monsters instantly. Why he, engulfed in red energy, declares that he can finally get serious. Unimpressed, the protagonist Zhu Yi decides to reveal a skill he created himself, a fusion skill. He plunges his hand downward, unleashing a massive, swirling torrent of blue icy energy called 1,000-mile frozen. The entire arena is instantly covered in a thick layer of ice, and a blizzard obscures the view, making it impossible for the audience to see what's happening inside. The elders are shocked, questioning how a paladin like Zhu Yi can wield such pure and powerful ice elemental energy. Inside the frozen storm, Zhu Yi's icy blue blades clash with Wai Yi's crimson ones in a move called Entangle. The two opposing forces spiral and collide until Zhu Yi's power overwhelms his opponent, sending Wai Yi crashing to the ground, unconscious. The announcer declares that contestant Wai Yi has lost consciousness, and Zhu Yi is the winner. The crowd erupts in cheers, chanting Zhu Yi #1, as he stands victorious in the center of the ruined arena. The commentators congratulate both fighters for an exciting match, calling it the most interesting battle in a decade. High-ranking officials discuss Zhu Yi's terrifying power, noting that he defeated the Wai family's secret technique without even resorting to his ultimate form, the angel body. His teammates rush to celebrate with him, ecstatic that he has won first place in the individual matches, an honor their school, Su Hang, hasn't achieved in 4 years. A female teammate excitedly points out that with Wai Yi wounded, their upcoming team match against Madu University is practically a guaranteed win. To celebrate their victory, Zhu Yi decides the team should relax for the night. They venture into King Jing City's famous food street, a massive, bustling area born from the fusion of the eternal game with reality, offering millions of new dishes made from monsters and magic plants. Vendors hawk exotic delicacies like 20-year-old dragon barbecue and deep-sea fish balls made from level 30 monsters. As the team explores, a cocky young man tries to flirt with Jiang Chu Ran, the white-haired girl in their group, but is immediately intimidated into leaving by a silent, menacing glare from Zhu Yi. His friends mock him for backing down so easily. The group decides to find a place to rest, and Zhu Yi sits down with Jiang Chu Ran while the others go to buy snacks. She orders a specialty, a 50-year-old bottle of apple wine, which costs a staggering 20,000 credits and can permanently increase a person's agility stat. She pays for it as a gift to congratulate him on his victory. The wine proves to be incredibly potent, and just 10 minutes later, Jiang Chu Ran is completely drunk, slurring her words and seeing 3 Zhu Yis. At another table, a seductive woman with purple-streaked hair finishes her drink and eyes Zhu Yi, recognizing him as the strongest freshman and a valuable prize to be won. She knows from her sources that despite what most people think, Zhu Yi and Jiang Chu Ran are not yet a couple, seeing this as the perfect opportunity to act. She approaches Zhu Yi, getting uncomfortably close and whispering that since he isn't with a little girl, she shouldn't obstruct his luck with love. Zhu Yi coldly rejects her advance, taking the drunk Jiang Chu Ran's hand and declaring, "I don't mind Zio Ran blocking my luck with love," before dismissing the seductress as rather ordinary. Humiliated and furious, the woman stalks away. Spurred on by the moment, the drunken Jiang Chu Ran looks up at Zhu Yi with flushed cheeks and confesses, "I like you." She admits that she hates seeing so many other girls surrounding him and, in a fit of jealous passion, asks if she can be his girlfriend. The next morning, Zhu Yi wakes up with a start, the memory of the confession vivid in his mind. Zio Ran brings him breakfast, acting completely normal, leading him to wonder if the entire event was just a dream. A flashback reveals the truth. After the confession, his friend Su Hang explained to another teammate that Zhu Yi can't accept her feelings yet. Zio Ran is from the incredibly powerful Jiang family, and while Zhu Yi has fame as a disciple of Sir Wang Hui, he feels it's not enough to be accepted by her family and doesn't want to cause her trouble. He's determined to wait until he has absolute power, when no family or authority can stand in his way. The day of the final team match against Madu University arrives. The Madu team's mentor knows their chances are slim, as their ace Y he is still injured from his fight with Zhu Yi, whom he calls a monster, whose strength is equivalent to 2 or 3 of his students combined. Before the match, the announcer reveals the incredible prizes for the top teams, culminating in a full set of epic-grade, 5-star equipment for every member of the first-place team. The match begins, and the Madu team's summoner, Sun Jiao, immediately unleashes a torrent of summoned beasts, including a young dragon, a Hellguard Kerberos, and a great snake Hades. The Su Hang team works together flawlessly, their coordination buffed and honed by Zhu Yi's presence. Just as they gain the upper hand, Sun Jiao summons her ultimate monster, a level 24 legendary 1-star flame baboon. The massive, arrogant creature appears in a burst of fire and immediately shatters the defensive shields of Zhu Yi's teammates with a single, contemptuous swipe. Realizing the legendary beast is on a completely different level, Zhu Yi makes a decision. He orders his entire team to leave the ring and forfeit the match immediately. They protest, insisting they are a team and can fight together, but he is resolute. He tells them they will die carelessly against a monster of this caliber, and their presence will only distract him before confidently stating, "Besides, it's just a legendary monster." His teammates reluctantly forfeit, disappearing from the arena one by one until only Zhu Yi is left to face the flame baboon alone. The flame baboon senses an unrivaled bloodline within Zhu Yi, and despite the human's apparent weakness, decides to use its full power. Zhu Yi activates his angel physique, his body glowing with golden light, and clashes with the beast. He unleashes Shining Pulse, a powerful beam of light, but the legendary creature is completely unharmed. The elders watching panic, demanding the match be stopped, but the headmaster remains calm, revealing he knew Zhu Yi could handle any legendary beast up to level 26. Zhu Yi bombards the flame baboon with his punishment of light skill, but the beast's terrifying regeneration heals the damage almost instantly. He notes that the creature's adaptability is causing its resistance to light magic to grow with each attack. Realizing his current power isn't enough, Zhu Yi applies another layer of buffs to himself while his angel physique is active, reaching his true full strength. The flame baboon responds by encasing itself in flame armor. The two unleash their ultimate attacks, resulting in a cataclysmic explosion of fire and holy light that threatens to destroy the stadium itself. A powerful mage from the Alliance is forced to intervene, creating a massive protection of water shield to contain the blast. When the smoke clears, the flame baboon is heavily wounded and bleeding, its regeneration hampered by the holy and ice elements coursing through its body. Enraged, it roars, but Zhu Yi gives it no quarter, relentlessly striking it with his holy sword again and again. Seeing their ultimate weapon is on the verge of defeat, the Madu University mentor concedes the match, surrendering. The announcer declares Su Hang University the champions. The stadium erupts with thunderous applause as the crowd chants, "God Yi," and his teammates rush to embrace him as he stands victorious, bathed in a divine golden light. Following the tournament, the mentor briefs the team on the final competition, a 7-day survival match in a real, open-world realm called the Ruins of Million Beast Zoo. Contestants will earn points by killing monsters and can steal half the points of any opponents they eliminate. As the teams prepare to be teleported, the mentors of the other schools convene, with Housemaster Su cryptically asking the Madu mentor if he is truly willing to accept Su Hang's victory, hinting at a conspiracy to take Zhu Yi down during the survival match. Unaware of the plot against them, the contestants are teleported into the dangerous and treasure-filled ruins to begin the final, brutal challenge. As Zhu Yi is teleported into the survival realm, he finds himself alone in a dense forest, realizing he'll have to search for his teammates. He's almost immediately spotted by another contestant, who, upon seeing Zhu Yi, uses a speed skill called 1,000 Steps to flee, yelling back that it's stupid to fight when their scores are both 0. The fleeing contestant runs into an elven archer from his own school, Zia Lan, who had him in her sights and almost shot him. She asks him why he was running in such a hurry, and he nervously explains he saw someone from Su Hang University. Meanwhile, from a high-tech control room, the mentors of the various schools watch the competition unfold on massive screens, noting that contestants are already cautiously teaming up for safety on the first day. Deep within the ruins, Zhu Yi discovers a den of goblin-like monsters and unleashes his power, instantly freezing the entire horde solid with a wave of icy energy. His score rapidly climbs as he effortlessly wipes out the creatures. Afterwards, he checks the leaderboard on his smart bracelet. While he and his main teammates are in the top ranks, he is shocked to see that 2 others from his school, Tan Wai and Zhang Zi, are ranked extremely low. A moment later, a notification appears, informing him that Tan Wai has been eliminated from the competition. Zhu Yi deduces that this can't be a coincidence. Given how cautious his teammates are, the only logical explanation is that other contestants have teamed up specifically to hunt down members of Su Hang University. The scene shifts to his teammate, Tang Lingyi, an elemental mage, who is fighting 2 opponents from different schools, Ling Yu and Lai Jian. Lingyu pesters her with water arrows while Lai Jian attacks with a massive stone hammer. Lai Jian's partner then emerges from hiding, trapping Tang Lingyi's own partner in a stone binding spell, revealing their coordinated ambush. Just as Tang Lingyi is cornered, another figure appears from the shadows, revealing that even more contestants were lying in wait. The newcomer, a summoner, sends a shadowy beast to attack her, but she counters with a powerful fire spell. Despite her efforts, she is overwhelmed by the sheer number of opponents and is eliminated from the match after taking a heavy blow. Later, Zhu Yi finds her unconscious body, along with two other defeated contestants, confirming his suspicions of a targeted alliance. Tang Lingyi briefly wakes up to tell him what happened before fainting again. Zhu Yi is consumed by a cold fury, realizing the other schools are using a tracking method to hunt his team. He vows, "I'll tear them to pieces." He explains his theory to another teammate. The 9 other schools have formed an alliance to systematically eliminate his teammates over the first 6 days before ganging up on him on the final day, concluding that in the face of absolute power, their tricks won't matter. On the final day, a massive force of 47 contestants has gathered, waiting for him. Their leader, Wang Xuan, tells Zhu Yi he should feel honored that they assembled such a force just to defeat him. Zhu Yi scoffs, calling them a bunch of losers, and asking which of them hasn't been defeated by him before, pointing out that without their numbers, none of them would have the courage to face him. Enraged, the 47 contestants unleash a barrage of attacks simultaneously. Zhu Yi activates his buffs and moves like a golden blur, effortlessly weaving through the onslaught. He activates his angel physique, his power erupting and sending a shockwave across the battlefield. The alliance combines their strength to create a massive, multi-layered defensive field, but Zhu Yi shatters it with a single, overwhelming God Hand attack that descends from the sky like a meteor. As the alliance members flee in terror, Wang Xuan activates a desperate countermeasure, a barrier of machines designed to redirect the impact of Zhu Yi's attack. But it's not enough. As the redirected energy dissipates, Zhu Yi appears before them, his body crackling with holy light, and tells them he was too merciful before. He unleashes a final, devastating punishment of light, and the remaining contestants, terrified and broken, choose to surrender. In the control room, the mentors who orchestrated the alliance are forced to watch their plan fail spectacularly. Suddenly, the broadcast feed cuts out, and a red warning message flashes across the defeated contestants' screens. Unable to teleport, the very fabric of the secret realm begins to crack, and a monstrous, shadowy entity known as a void beast appears behind Zhu Yi. The mentors realize in horror that the ancient space-devouring creature has broken its seal. The void beast rips open a vortex, sucking the students into a chaotic time-space turbulence. Just as they are about to be consumed, Zhu Yi intervenes, shattering the vortex's edge with a powerful, holy fist. Why he arrives, having sensed the disturbance, and helps rally the terrified students. The void beast unleashes a psychic attack, voice of seduction, disorienting its victims. As chaos ensues and students fall into despair, Zhu Yi confronts Wai He, who reveals the truth. The housemaster of King Kang Academy had secretly placed the eggs of space attraction butterflies, the void beast's companions on all of them, leading the creature straight to them. Consumed with guilt and rage, Zhu Yi declares he will find a way to save Xiao Ran, who was sucked into a void, even if he has to destroy the realm. Ling Yi reveals that her family knows a special, suicidal sealing technique that can stop the beast, but she is too weak to perform it. Without hesitation, Zhu Yi steps forward and says, "I'll do it. Tell me how." A golden-armored warrior explains that the only way for Zhu Yi, a non-summoner, to use a summon is through a special tool, and that the summoner themselves is the best tool. Concentrating all his mana into his eyeball, the warrior transforms it into a glowing blue orb and tosses it to Zhu Yi, instructing him to take it to activate a sealing technique. As Zhu Yi catches it, a massive, shadowy creature with glowing purple eyes and a skull-like face emerges from a dark vortex, mocking Zhu Yi's efforts as wasted. The golden-armored figure warns that the beast cannot be captured, but the creature, identifying itself as the god of space, becomes enraged, declaring that an arrogant human who touched it must be punished. The golden warrior, his own power fading, gives Zhu Yi a final instruction. Enter the space rift, attack the void beast with everything he has to force it into a state of weakness, and then activate the seal at the right moment. Inside the chaotic blue and purple rift, Zhu Yi is exhausted and struggling to continue, but he prepares for one last attack. He unleashes divine punishment, a massive, intricate golden sealing formation that erupts from below, engulfing the surprised void beast in chains of holy light. As the beast struggles, Zhu Yi's power wanes, and at that moment, a mysterious red crystal floats in the darkness, bursting into a wave of pink energy that forms into a demonic woman with long pink hair. The void beast, trying to escape its weakening prison, shouts, "Stay here," but is caught in a final golden geometric trap. The beast finally surrenders, and a system window appears asking Zhu Yi if he wants to keep it as a summon. Instead, Zhu Yi demands the beast hand over someone named Zio Ran. The beast complies, releasing Zio Ran from a swirling vortex, safely encased within a large, blue, crystalline bubble. Back in the desert-like arena, Zhu Yi's companions see that the teleportation portal has reappeared, but they are shocked when the red-haired young man yells, "Zhu Yi, what are you doing?" Zhu Yi, now glowing with an intense golden aura, turns to the remaining contestants from other universities and calmly tells them to surrender or face him. One by one, holographic displays show the other students forfeiting, their points flowing to Zhu Yi as his former enemies realize he was protecting them all along. His victory secured, Zhu Yi finally collapses from his wounds and complete mana exhaustion, his companions rushing to his side as a system window declares him the first-place winner with over 350,000 points. Later, in a clean room, Zhu Yi examines a holographic screen displaying his incredible rewards for taking first place in all 3 matches. A divine-grade talent called Divine Sword Heart, an S-class skill Blade Flash, and a divine-grade treasure. He accepts the rewards, and his shirtless torso is instantly enveloped in a blinding golden light as he absorbs the power of the Divine Sword Heart. A surge of power flows through him, and with a casual flick of his fingers, he manifests a sharp, golden sword aura, an ability that swordsmen train their entire lives to achieve. To test his newfound skills, he summons the white-haired swordswoman Jiang Churan for sparring match. Jiang Churan, known as a genius swordsman who has trained since childhood, confidently accepts the challenge, unaware of his recent power-up. Their swords clash in a burst of energy. Zhu Yi's blade flash is a blur of golden light, while Jiang Churan counters with her purple-hued shadow demon sword, her eyes widening in shock as she recognizes his sword aura. Though she uses a variety of high-level skills, she can feel Zhu Yi is deliberately suppressing his raw power to match her level. Yet the shockwaves from their blows are still enough to make her arms tremble with the strain. In a decisive move, Zhu Yi stops her blade with his bare, bandaged hand, ending the duel as she concedes defeat. Housemaster Wu then arrives, informing Zhu Yi that Feng He, the student who planted tracking bugs on them, has committed suicide, and that a celebration feast is about to begin. At a lavish banquet hall filled with influential figures, Housemaster Wu explains that the top powers are here to recruit the talented freshmen. An official from the Zia Yan Class Alliance presents the top 10 students with bank cards, each loaded with 20 million, and promotes them to elite external members. The students joyfully toast their victory, giving all the credit to Zhu Yi for his leadership and strength. The next day, Zhu Yi is escorted to the Class Alliance headquarters aboard a sleek, futuristic Phantom X-1000 jet that streaks through the sky at incredible speed. He arrives at a breathtaking floating island, a headquarters of immense scale and advanced technology, dotted with flags from various universities and guilds. A woman with light blue hair named Wai He personally guides him to claim his rewards. She leads him into a sweltering forge, where he meets the legendary Master Kai Jun, a massive leonine beastman wreathed in roaring flames. Zhu Yi requests a level 25 legendary-grade longsword that boosts both strength and wisdom. Impressed by Zhu Yi's calm demeanor in his presence, Master Kai Jun decides to use an exceptionally rare epic-grade material, the Sunlight Holy Stone, in the forging. The Master Forger begins his work, summoning a magma realm and expertly combining legendary materials like meteor steel, abyss obsidian, and a dragon core into a molten ingot. With a divine hammer that crackles with thunder, he strikes the glowing metal, shaping the blade and etching powerful spells onto its surface. In a final, explosive burst of power, the forging is complete, and Master Kai Jun presents Zhu Yi with the finished Holy Light Sword, a magnificent golden weapon radiating immense power. As Zhu Yi grasps the sword, it resists him with a surge of energy, but he pours his own power into the blade, taming it and forcing it to recognize him as its master. He marvels at the sword's stats, which include buffs to all 4 attributes and a staggering 80% speed increase, as the now exhausted Master Kai Jun advises him to use only holy element materials for future upgrades. Next, a team of women in bunny girl outfits appears to take his measurements for his custom epic-grade armor, for which he requests a light set focused on strength and intelligence. For his final reward, the survival match prize, he is presented with a holographic display of S-grade skills and can choose one. After browsing powerful movement and resurrection skills, he chooses Dimension Jump, a teleportation ability, noting that he already possesses a resurrection item from his system. As he claims the skill, the captured void beast's voice echoes in his mind, screaming, "Let me out," causing him to briefly frown. Leaving the reward area, he is greeted by two members of the Zhu family who formally invite him to visit their home in Tianlan district. Back in his room, Zhu Yi releases the diminutive, shadowy void beast, who remains defiant and arrogant. Zhu Yi coldly threatens the creature, informing it that the Alliance has mages capable of wiping its intelligence and turning it into a mindless puppet, before offering it a contract. He proposes that if the beast serves him loyally for 1 year, he will grant it freedom, and as a show of good faith, he gives it the Dimension Jump skill cube, which it can consume to regain its energy. The cornered beast reluctantly agrees to the deal, and then reveals a startling piece of information. The people who originally captured it and a being named Zyode are not true humans. Later, Zhu Yi enjoys a day off, strolling through a vibrant city market with Jiang Chu Ran. Their outing is interrupted by the arrogant Wang Hao, who calls himself the second genius of the Wang family and tries to impress Jiang Chu Ran. When Zhu Yi calmly leads Jiang Chu Ran away, Wang Hao's armored guard attacks, unleashing a torrent of purple lightning. Zhu Yi doesn't even flinch, effortlessly neutralizing the attack with a passive shield of golden holy light, leaving the guard stunned. Enraged by the disrespect, Wang Hao, a powerful thunder mage, challenges Zhu Yi directly, declaring that if Zhu Yi can even touch his clothes within 3 moves, he will concede. Wang Hao unleashes a massive thunder strike, but the bolt of purple lightning splinters harmlessly against Zhu Yi's impenetrable defense while he stands perfectly still. Humiliated, Wang Hao summons his ultimate move, the Thunder Leopard, but Zhu Yi casually counters with a simple Salvation Cross, a golden attack that shatters the leopard and sends Wang Hao flying backwards, his armor cracking under the impact. Standing over his defeated opponent, Zhu Yi stretches his arms and nonchalantly says, "One more move. Come on," leaving Wang Hao kneeling in utter disbelief, unable to fathom how a supposedly useless Saint Knight could possess such overwhelming power. A swirling vortex of purple lightning clashes against a brilliant golden cross of holy energy, the impact sending shockwaves across the battlefield. The dark-winged warrior who cast the lightning attack looks on in disbelief, unable to comprehend how his thunder slash could be blocked. From within the radiant light, Zhu Yi emerges, his expression calm and his body crackling with golden power as he unleashes a Holy Cross attack, overwhelming his foe completely. Onlookers in the crowd are stunned, recognizing the lightning user as a genius, but one identifies Zhu Yi as the champion of the recent exchange competition. A white-haired man in the crowd glares at Zhu Yi with pure hatred, vowing that his brother will make him regret his victory. The victorious Su Hang team gathers as a massive, intricate blue teleportation formation activates on the ground beneath them. They wave their goodbyes to friends and rivals, with one promising to defeat Zhu Yi next time before vanishing in a flash of light. They reappear at their home base, greeted as the heroes of Su Hang. Later, in a grand hall, the headmaster rewards the team for their performance, which has become news all over. The stand-in members each receive 5,000 points, a sum that would take regular students a whole year of missions to accumulate. Zhu Yi, as the team captain and the one who secured victory against overwhelming odds, is rewarded with a staggering 100,000 points, shocking his teammates who equate it to 3 billion in regular currency. After the ceremony, Zhu Yi speaks privately with his master, a stern man in purple robes. He asks about Housemaster Feng He, the man who orchestrated the Void Beast attack. His master reveals a dark secret. Feng He is not human, but an inhuman, a demi-human monster created by the evil god, the master of chaos. He explains that these beings exist only to serve evil gods who crave death and chaos, showing Zhu Yi a vision of a terrifying, shadowy entity with countless red eyes. The master elaborates that Feng He didn't actually commit suicide as the public was told. He transformed into a servant of the evil god, wounded an investigator, and escaped. The reason he acted during the exchange competition was because the venue, the ruins of Million Beasts, sits atop a weak point in the seal containing the Master of Chaos. This evil god was sealed thousands of years ago by the beastkind, who sacrificed their entire civilization to do so. Now, his master warns, since Zhu Yi tamed the void beast Feng he was using to search for cracks in the seal, Feng He will undoubtedly come after him. To prepare him, the master decides to give Zhu Yi a powerful angel skillbook from the Tianyu Guild's resource vault ahead of schedule. They arrive at the heavily fortified vault, guarded by 2 massive level 60 flame earth lions. Inside, they meet the vault's guardian, a powerful tertiary awakened warrior named Yang. After a brief exchange, Yang retrieves the Holy Thunder skill book and hands it to Zhu Yi. With 319 skill points accumulated, Zhu Yi begins the learning process. The system prompts him and he consumes the points, causing a brilliant explosion of golden lightning to erupt from his body. He instantly learns 3 S-rank skills: Holy Thunder Form of Apocalypse, which boosts his resistances; Holy Thunder Blade of Punishment, a powerful slashing attack; and Holy Thunder Chains of Heaven, a control skill. His master, impressed by the divine power, notes that skills from a divine race like angels are all a plus grade or higher, far surpassing what human classes can achieve. The master then introduces Zhu Yi to Deacon Y. Ningxin, who is responsible for recruitment, to give him a tour of the guild. She leads him through the massive guild headquarters, a sprawling city built in a former mountainous forest, and points out the guild's guardian beast, a legendary eastern dragon resting atop a distant mountain. They arrive at the Realm Tower, and Deacon Y generously offers her card so Zhu Yi can test his new abilities. He chooses the Nightmare level, Sighing Plague Realm, and enters. Inside the dark, corrupted land, he is immediately swarmed by a horde of zombies. To even the odds, Zhu Yi activates Form of Apocalypse, his body glowing with a powerful golden aura as his power level temporarily increases. He uses the brief 14-second window to charge his power before unleashing it, clearing the first wave in just 35 seconds. Proceeding to the second level, a foggy mutant village, he is ambushed by more powerful zombies, including a hulking zombie butcher and nimble zombie hounds. These creatures can speak, snarling about their hatred for the smelly Saint Knight. Zhu Yi responds with overwhelming force, activating Blade Flash S and moving at blinding speed, reducing the monsters to ribbons with his radiant sword. After clearing another wave of plague spreaders with a swirling golden holy storm, he proceeds to the third level, the Forbidden Church. There he confronts the final boss, a level 45 zombie bishop who tempts him with the promise of immortality through his dark god. Zhu Yi scoffs, calling such an existence a defilement to life. Enraged, the bishop sends his elite zombie nuns to attack, but Zhu Yi obliterates them with a single, massive descending arc of golden energy from his Blade of Punishment skill. The bishop then reveals his true plan, activating a crimson magic formation called Touch of Withering that he had been preparing during the fight, debuffing Zhu Yi's stats. However, Zhu Yi's inherent death resistance and magic immunity negate most of the curse's effects. Activating his Holy Flame Halo to boost his own power, he engages the bishop, who summons a dark shield and calls upon the power of a being named Exia. Recognizing the name from a previous encounter, Zhu Yi knows he must shatter the shield in one blow. He channels all his power, combining Form of Apocalypse with Divine Sword Heart, and unleashing a definitive Blade of Punishment, the golden energy crashing down and utterly shattering both the shield and the bishop. The remnants of the bishop reform into a monstrous fleshy abomination, which Zhu Yi immediately restrains with the glowing chains of heaven. The trapped creature tells a tragic tale of being a priest who, unable to save his village from a plague, accepted power from Exia, turning his people into immortal mutant monsters to end their suffering. Believing he made the right choice, the creature attempts to self-destruct to take Zhu Yi with it. Zhu Yi calmly counters by casting Holy Cross, suppressing the explosion and finishing the beast for good. Upon clearing the realm, he receives a special reward for destroying the evil god's statue, a holy crystal, a rare item needed for the secondary awakening of holy classes. He exits the realm to find Deacon Y, who is shocked that he cleared it in just over 10 minutes on his first try. At that moment, her nephew, Zhang Ming, a level 24 berserker, returns from a 2-month mission fighting otherworld creatures. He is stunned when Zhu Yi, a level 23 freshman, immediately re-enters the realm and shatters the leaderboard record with a clear time of 1 minute and 59 seconds. 2 months later, Zhu Yi, now level 29, has become a guild legend, holding the top records for both Nightmare, 59 seconds, and Abyss, 1 minute 29 seconds difficulties. Having reached the prerequisite level, he contacts his master to begin his secondary awakening. His master explains that he allowed Zhu Yi to train this way because true strength is forged on the border of life and death, not gifted through power leveling, and now he is truly ready for the next step. A woman with long purple hair, Zhu Yi's master, explains that the secondary class for a Saint Knight is the Apocalyzer, but notes that his offensive power is already far beyond that of a regular Saint Knight. She presents him with a glowing golden tome, the class awakening book for Apocalyzer, and tells him to commune with it. As Zhu Yi touches the book, it dissolves into golden particles, revealing the awakening requirements in a system window. He must be a level 29 Saint Knight and possess 100 sacred crystals and 100 Will of Repent. His master reveals she anticipated this, having already prepared the crystals and knowing he acquired the Repent skill in the Plague Realm. She directs him to a mission on the school network involving cultists, where he can harvest the necessary Will of Repent. Juyi sits at his computer and finds a mission to investigate cultist activity in Longfeng City. Despite a bright red warning that the mission is highly dangerous and that 2 previous agents have already lost contact, he accepts it, knowing that missions involving cultists are never simple. For insurance, he summons a blue, ethereal space butterfly, a creature that can mark a location for an emergency teleportation escape. As he walks through the school grounds, fellow students watch in awe, calling him God Yi, and remarking that his aura surpasses even the elite Great Four seniors. Elsewhere, 2 of his teachers discuss his departure, acknowledging the mission's danger but expressing confidence in Juyi's abilities, honed during his time at the Tian Yu Guild, and mentioning he has hidden aces up his sleeve. Aboard a high-speed train, Juyi meets 2 young women, Bai Nar and Liu Jai, who are also heading to Longfeng City. Though for tourism, they are pharmacists and exchange contacts with him after Bai Nar is surprised that her assessment skill can't read his level, correctly guessing he is a powerful combat class. Upon arriving at Longfeng Station, a robed man promoting the holy faith religion shoves a flyer into Bai Nar's hands. Later, Liu Jai explains to her friend that this new religion has become popular by offering new members stat and level increases, but she has heard that followers become violent and unpredictable afterward. Juyi, having overheard, suspects this is a classic cultist tactic of disguising their activities as a legitimate religion. That night, at the Hengyang shopping mall, a large crowd gathers for a holy faith miracle event, including a team of 4 adventurers there to investigate. The adventurers are stunned when they are unable to appraise Juyi, who is also in attendance, deducing he must be at least level 20 and deciding to steer clear of him. On stage, a man named Father Liu Xiu Yuan promises the crowd immeasurable blessings from the Holy Master, including potions, treasures, and a monthly stipend of 8,000 coins. He then unveils a winged, angelic statue, claiming it will perform a miracle. As the statue glows with an intense golden light, the crowd is enveloped in a high-class hypnotic spell, making them hallucinate that they are gaining immense power and wealth. With the crowd under his control, the father signals, and shadowy cultists with glowing purple auras emerge from the darkness. A bishop appears and chastises the father for taking too long with the sacrificial ritual. Juyi, undetected, feels their intense malice and confirms his suspicions. The bishop prepares the sacrifice, and the statue begins to pull the souls, visible as golden wisps, from the hypnotized people. Juyi realizes with horror that the cult is harvesting souls, which explains the drastic personality changes in their followers. An adventurer named Lai Ran, who was protected from the hypnosis by a magic item, tries to intervene by casting an icicle spell, but the bishop effortlessly dispels it and retaliates with a blast of black flame. Juyi intercepts the attack with a shining shield, revealing his presence. The cultists, recognizing him as a user of holy magic from the Court of Light, move to attack Lai Ran as she attempts to use a teleportation scroll. Just as she is about to be overwhelmed by a wind blade and a fireball, a massive golden hammer of repentance descends from the sky, obliterating her attackers in a single devastating explosion. The bishop, stunned by this display of power, tries to flee, but Juyi cuts him down before he can escape, though the main cultist leader manages to teleport away. Juyi calmly releases his space butterfly to track the fugitive. He approaches the rescued mage, Lai Ran, who is in awe of his overwhelming holy power, mistaking him for the legendary Holy Son of the Court of Light. As public security arrives, Juyi uses his repent skill on the slain cultists, causing their bodies to emit golden light as their sins are confessed. And a system window confirms, "Will of repent for collected." He then vanishes just as the authorities begin to secure the scene. His space butterfly leads him to a dark, corrupted chamber where the escaped Bishop Feng is reporting his failure to a hooded lord. Another, more powerful bishop named Su explains the cult's true plan. They have conducted 307 sacrifices across the city to create a chaos hell formation, which is siphoning the life and soul energy of the entire population to awaken the evil master of chaos. Having heard everything, Juyi reveals himself, and the enraged lord orders all the cultists to attack. Juyi finds himself evenly matched against the high-level Bishop Su, who eventually traps him in a dark cyclone that drains his mana and stamina. realizing he can't win a battle of attrition. Zhu Yi unleashes a massive blast of holy fire that shatters the vortex, then summons a twin shield and purges the chamber of all the lesser cultists with a wave of holy energy. The Lord, furious at Bishop Feng's incompetence, impales him with a dark tendril, revealing that Feng is his own son whom he is sacrificing for his master. The Lord is revealed to be Housemaster Feng He, the very same villain who escaped from the national exchange match. He recognizes Zhu Yi and blames him for disrupting his plans. A fierce battle ensues, and though Zhu Yi's buffs make him a match for level 40, Feng He's power is far greater. The Housemaster unleashes a storm of dark blades, and one manages to pierce Zhu Yi's holy protection, wounding his arm as the chapter ends. The stitched-up villain laughs maniacally, his voice echoing with power as he declares that this is not a regular corruption, but the power of malice actualized. A massive crimson energy wave, shaped like a scythe, erupts from his being and carves a destructive path through a nearby skyscraper, casting a bloody glow over the city. Amidst the chaos, the young hero, Zhu Yi, remains resolute, a shimmering blue aura crackling around his body as he prepares to face the overwhelming evil. The villain mocks Zhu Yi's attempt to use punishment of light, calling it a standard tactic he used to teach at the War Academy 10 years prior. He scoffs at Zhu Yi's mindset, which he considers outdated, and unleashes his own technique. Crimson tendrils of energy, the abyssal chain, shoot from the ground, designed to suppress holy power. The chains wrap around Zhu Yi's limbs, stretching him out and pinning him helplessly to the cracked earth in a crucifix-like pose. The villain looms over him, sneering that this is his end as Zhu Yi realizes his holy power is being sealed away. The ground begins to tremble with rhythmic thuds, and the villain announces the arrival of the Master of Chaos. In the blood-red landscape, the lifeless bodies of two individuals, Bai Nar and Liu Jai, are displayed as sacrifices, horrifying Zhu Yi. The villain calls Zhu Yi a monster and dismisses his morals, stating that these are necessary sacrifices that fools wouldn't understand. Despite the dire situation and the temptation to escape with his void beast, Zhu Yi knows he cannot run away, as everyone in Longfeng City will die if he does. He resolves to fight, even if he's no match. He consumes a golden elixir, a congenital pill, instantly boosting his physique recovery speed to 100%. Facing the villain's taunt of a useless struggle, Zhu Yi defiantly places his hands together, his eyes glowing with golden light, and declares that in the name of the holy, he will awaken the kindness within the villain's soul. The villain questions his actions as Zhu Yi yells, "Repent," and a massive wave of golden energy erupts from him, the system announcing that 104 will of repent has been collected. A colossal explosion of blue and yellow spiritual energy shatters the ground around Zhu Yi, signifying a profound change. The villain watches in shock, realizing that Zhu Yi is trying to forcibly break through to a new level of power. He recognizes this as a forced secondary awakening, a desperate and dangerous gamble, and admits that Zhu Yi has opened his eyes. The villain taunts him, stating that a normal secondary awakening requires immense resources and protection, all of which Zhu Yi lacks while chained by the holy power-suppressing abyssal chain. He warns that if Zhu Yi fails, he will suffer a massive level drop at best, or complete annihilation at worst, as the power within his body runs wild and tears him to pieces. Seeing even a fraction of a chance of success as unacceptable, the villain unleashes a powerful blast of energy, shouting for Zhu Yi to die in his secondary awakening. Despite the attack, a brilliant golden light engulfs Zhu Yi as a system window appears, congratulating him on his successful second advancement to Judicator level 30. The message confirms he has obtained new exclusive skills: Judgment Descends, Divine Summon, and Divine Awakening, along with 100 unallocated attribute points. The villain is thrown back by the sheer force of the transformation, his stitched body struggling to hold together. He screams in defiance, claiming it's useless and that a second-rate holy knight can't hurt him, boasting that he's devoured countless opponents like Zhu Yi. With newfound power, Zhu Yi calmly raises his hand, dismissing the villain's words as mere noise. He activates his S-rank skill, Judgment Descends, which summons a holy domain that deals massive damage to dark beings. He points forward and sentences the sinner to death. A torrent of golden light pillars rains down from the sky, piercing the villain and the surrounding dark entities, purifying the battlefield in a brilliant flash. The villain's physical form is obliterated, but his disembodied voice whispers insidious temptations, urging Zhu Yi to join him and embrace pain as the only truth. His corrupting words try to invade Zhu Yi's mind, promising eternal unity and urging him to become a part of the chaos. However, Zhu Yi's consciousness remains a bastion of golden light, and he scoffs at the mental corruption attempt, calling it more advanced than mere hypnosis, but lamenting that the villain chose the wrong opponent. A powerful pulse of holy energy radiates from him, shattering the mental assault and causing the villain's consciousness to scream in agony. Zhu mocks the fragment of the evil god, asking why he wouldn't dare to defy him, stating that holy knights are made to deal with the unruly. The villain, now a monstrous, multi-eyed maw of chaotic energy, curses Zhu, screaming that he is the Lord of Chaos, a god who cannot be slain by a mere human. He attempts to bargain, offering Zhu the strength of a divine beast if he becomes his servant. Zhu, his own power beginning to fade, laughs at the offer, telling the fragment of some evil god that if he's going to play God, he should at least do it right. He reveals that his temporary body can only hold out for 2 more minutes, admitting he's out of time. As his divine power wanes, he activates his final S-rank skill, Divine Summon. A brilliant summoning circle appears, and Zhu sacrifices 30% of his health to summon a magnificent armored battle angel from the heavens. The angel, a being of pure light, descends and initiates divine punishment. A colossal pillar of purifying light beams down from the sky, completely engulfing and obliterating the Lord of Chaos. In the aftermath, a single damaged evil god power crystal is all that remains. Having expended all his energy, Zhu collapses onto the desolate, cracked ground, his body covered in golden, vein-like patterns from the power overload, but victorious. He later awakens with a start, finding himself submerged in a large, ornate tub filled with glowing medicinal liquid. His teacher stands before him, explaining that he's been unconscious for 2 days. The teacher admonishes him for his reckless actions, tearing through a dark god's ritual on his own, and reveals that Zhu meridians were shredded like a torn fishing net. He was placed in the medicinal spring, which contains 5 rare dragon pearls to keep his vitals stable. The teacher reveals the public has been told he was the one who handled the Longfeng incident, and Zhu involvement has been classified as SSS confidential to protect him from the cultists who would hunt him down. He then presents the evil god power crystal recovered from the battle, explaining it's a condensed core of negative energy that warps the minds of those who come near it. The teacher seals the dangerous crystal and informs Zhu that his reckless advancement damaged his foundation, which will make future progress extremely difficult. He tells him the only solution is to visit the Zhu family's ancestral land, the frozen dragon abyss, and fuse with the soul of an ancient ice dragon to rebuild his foundation and complete a true second advancement. As the teacher leaves, a silver-haired girl named Xiao Ran is seen talking to herself, or rather, a sinister alter ego with glowing red eyes, who calls her pathetic and weak, a mere burden to her brother Zhu. The alter ego tempts her to exchange bodies so she can properly protect him. Just then, Zhu walks out, interrupting the internal conflict and asking Xiao Ran if she remembers what she just said, but she feigns ignorance. Elsewhere, a shadowy master is informed that the Longfeng city base has been destroyed and Feng He is dead. In another location, a young man with fiery red hair is ambushed in his home by a woman with draconic flame powers and a man with void abilities. Just as a young girl with blue hair is about to be captured, Zhu appears through a chaotic spatial transfer, his body still weak. He stands protectively in front of his sister, Xiaoyan. The red-haired man, Shen Lingfeng, reveals he was saved by Zhu timely arrival and tells his sister he's here now. Xiaoyan tearfully tells Zhu how the man scared her, but also tearfully defends Shen Lingfeng when Zhu is cold to him, stating that he saved her. The comical argument is interrupted by the arrival of Zhu's teacher and a white-haired woman named Churen, who were drawn by the spatio-temporal turbulence. The teacher assesses the situation, realizing the cult attacked Zhu's sister out of revenge. He declares that Zhu is too injured for teleportation and must travel to the Zhu family's old residence via the nearest public spaceship, the Sky Dome. Aboard the massive octopus-like vessel, the group is disguised as ordinary passengers, with Zhu in a wheelchair. Inside the luxurious cabin, a flirtatious woman in a pirate-like hat, who calls herself Red Madam, approaches Zhu, commenting on his beautiful but sickly appearance. She offers to hire the best priest to cure him if he comes with her, but Churen steps between them, her hand on her sword, warning the woman to get her filthy hands off her master. Red Madam mocks Churen, calling her a lover instead of a guard, and continues to provoke her until Zhu intervenes, calmly telling the madam that his body can't handle her enthusiasm and suggesting she'd find more suitable entertainment in the third-class cabin, a place for untalented laborers. Shen Lingfeng recognizes a bracelet on Red Madam's wrist as the symbol of the Mermaid Chamber of Commerce, a powerful and ruthless organization known for capturing and selling professionals with special bloodlines as playthings. He explains that they have a history with the Tianlin Zhu family, and that this encounter is likely a prelude to them targeting the group, especially Zhu Yi's sister, who would be the easiest target. An old man with a cruel smirk sits in a lavish room, assessing a young woman named Churen, identifying her rare and valuable succubus bloodline while dismissing her companion, Zhu Yi, as nothing more than a potential mine worker. Enraged by the insult to her friend, Churen's demeanor shifts, and a torrent of vibrant red ribbons erupts from her body, ensnaring the man's guards and contemptuously flinging them across the room. A new figure, a woman with fiery red hair named Madame Hong, appears, revealing their deception and unleashing her own blood-red silk that binds Zhu Yi's companions, a white-haired boy and a blue-haired girl. Madame Hong unleashes her blood silk puppet, a sinister prototype designed to capture the valuable specimens before her. Madame Hong's silk ribbons dance through the air like vipers, converging on the trapped white-haired boy in a crushing assault, wrapping around his body until he is completely immobilized. She gloats, planning to turn him into a permanent part of her collection. Deep within Churen's consciousness, a darker, more powerful entity awakens, the true succubus, urging her weaker half to relinquish control and use her true power to save Zhu Yi, who is trapped and helpless. Churen's form explodes with demonic energy. Her hair shifts to a vibrant magenta, her eyes glow with crimson light, and small, black horns emerge from her temples as she fully transforms, confronting Madame Hong with an aura of immense power and identifying her as a pathetic level 30 puppeteer. Madame Hong scoffs, arrogantly claiming that the Mermaid Merchant Association has an entire cold storage facility filled with succubus specimens just like her. Far away, a man monitoring the situation on a screen cries out Churen's name in pure alarm at the sudden transformation. The succubus, now in control and referring to herself as Xiao Ran, unleashes her terrifying, demonic entanglement domain, transforming the room into a swirling vortex of purple energy and crimson ribbons. She effortlessly parries Madame Hong's silk puppets, the sharp clang of their impacts echoing as her control over the domain proves absolute. Xiao Ran then activates Shadow Retrospection, a cruel technique that rips Madame Hong's most traumatic memories from her mind and projects them, forcing the woman to relive her past horrors and causing a severe mental shock. Screaming in rage and calling Xiao Ran a monster, Madame Hong is met with an even greater power, the Purple Abyss Demonic Sword Tomb, which summons a rain of spectral, soul-tearing swords from the abyss. Xiao Ran stands amidst the chaos, mocking Madame Hong's futile provocations, asserting that within her domain, her will is absolute law as the life drains from her opponent. Elsewhere, a mysterious figure observes the display of power through a scrying orb, noting the presence of the succubus and fire dragon, and decides to personally select this year's tribute. As the domain fades, Shen Lingfeng warns Zhu Yi to stay back from the dangerous, transformed Churen. But Xiao Ran approaches Zhu Yi, her demonic features softening as she speaks of a time long past when he gave her his last breath, allowing her to survive and subdue a void beast, a memory that binds them. Shen Lingfeng, the fiery-tempered dragon bloodline user, leaps forward, screaming that she is a monster and not the real Churen. The insult ignites Xiao Ran's fury, and she instantly appears before him, her hand clamped around his throat, lifting him effortlessly as her power flares menacingly. Before she can kill him, Zhu Yi intervenes, casting a holy power shield that erupts as a brilliant golden barrier between them, forcing her back. He looks her in the eyes and commands, "Don't hurt him." Zhu Yi then speaks directly to the powerful entity, acknowledging her as Xiao Ran and declaring that he supports and understands every choice she has made to protect him, validating her existence. With a tone of gentle firmness, he asks if she can now let Churen return. Visibly moved by his acceptance, Xiao Ran smiles, calling him a lucky little guy, and leans in to give him a soft kiss, explaining it as his first repayment for the immense cost Churen pays each time she is summoned. As Xiao Ran's power recedes and Churen's unconscious body falls, Shen Lingfeng explains the grave danger of a bloodline's symbiotic consciousness, a parasitic second personality, or an ancestral soul that seeks to possess the host entirely. He warns that frequent use of this power will lead to either permanent possession by the demon or the host's body self-destructing from the conflicting energies. The commotion attracts the ship's security, and Shen Lingfeng is unjustly arrested as the scapegoat for the destruction, hauled away while screaming his innocence. Later, at a futuristic sky dock, the group is met by a representative from the Zhu family, a man named Zhu Heng, who acknowledges Zhu Yi's newfound importance. Aboard a luxury transport, Madame Hong watches them from afar, her mind already scheming how to exploit the prodigious talent of Zhu Yi to elevate her own status. Safely inside the vehicle, shielded by an S-rank protective item, Zhu Heng reveals their destination, the sacred and dangerous Ice Dragon Abyss Secret Realm, which is in fact the final resting place of their clan's ancestral beast, the great ice dragon Frostfang. Zhu Heng passionately recounts the legend of Frostfang, a mighty dragon who sacrificed its physical body to seal an invading demon army within a cave, its powerful soul and essence transforming the entire area into the secret realm they are about to enter. He explains that the very structure of the abyss, the crystalline walls, the towering pillars, the frozen lakes, is formed from Frostfang's scales, bones, and blood. Zhu Heng issues a grave warning. Frostfang's remnant soul still guards the abyss, but it has long forgotten its connection to the Zhu clan and now attacks all who enter, its power immense and untamed. As Zhu Yi listens, a system window confirms his divinity exhaustion status from his last battle is finally lifting, his power returning at the perfect moment. With his attributes and energy fully restored, Zhu Yi declares he is ready, brushing off suggestions to rest and deciding to enter the abyss at once. He confidently tells his worried friends, including a concerned Churen, to trust him and wait for his return. Stepping into the vast, frozen expanse, Zhu Yi feels the stiffness of 10 days of forced inaction and decides a warm-up is in order. He unleashes a divine storm, a colossal vortex of golden holy energy that instantly atomizes the hordes of gold-level ice serpent guardians of the first layer. His display of power summons the realm's next guardian, a massive level 55 ice abyss serpent dragon, which he calmly dispatches with a single overwhelming pillar of energy called Light's Punishment. His small, pink, fairy-like companion appears, offering a brief word of thanks for his help in a previous encounter. Venturing deeper, he arrives at the second layer, a chilling graveyard littered with the frozen, skeletal remains of a demonic army from a bygone era, a sight that confirms the legends are true. The entire army of legendary-level Ice Abyss Bone demons stirs to life, their eye sockets glowing with malevolent blue light as they rise in their thousands. Knowing a frontal assault is suicide, Zhu Yi cleverly uses his skills God's Covenant and Blessing of Dawn to seize control of the realm's ambient, hyper-concentrated ice element. With a single command, freeze, he unleashes an apocalyptic wave of absolute zero energy, encasing the entire demon army in a solid block of ice before shattering them with another divine storm. However, a skeletal general roars that their battle souls are eternal and true to its word. The shattered skeletons begin to magically reassemble through their bone symbiosis skill, rendering them effectively immortal. Noticing he's gained no experience, Zhu Yi realizes he must destroy their power source. He focuses his senses, pinpoints the central nexus of their shared vitality, and unleashes a concentrated spear of holy light that obliterates it, finally turning the undying army to dust. The victory plunges him into a vivid memory of the past, where he witnesses the final, desperate moments of the battle for the Tianlin territory, with a warrior screaming for his comrades to buy Lord Frostfang more time against a swirling demon portal. He watches as the ancient Zhu family disciples make their last stand, their cries of live and die with Tianlin, echoing as they charge into the demonic horde. Then, descending from the heavens like a shard of winter itself, the magnificent and colossal crystalline dragon, Lord Frostfang, arrives, a beacon of hope for the doomed warriors. Zhu Yi understands he is witnessing the legendary battle of the demon invasion from a century ago. Frostfang, a being of pure divine ice, soars over the battlefield, its power radiating as a palpable force against the encroaching darkness. The great dragon lets out a defiant roar of demon scum as it prepares to engage the enemy, but from the depths of the portal emerges an aura of overwhelming evil, the presence of a true sky demon, a being capable of destroying the entire territory. In a moment of ultimate sacrifice, Frostfang makes its final choice, declaring its intention to use its own immortal dragon body as the ultimate seal, its form glowing with the light of a dying star as it prepares to become an eternal prison for the demon tide. As the vision of sacrifice fades, the chapter concludes with a final panel of the mischievous succubus personality, urging the audience to leave a comment. The portal shimmers and vanishes, signaling the end of a demonic invasion, with the victorious warriors cheering for their savior, Lord Frostfang, who sacrificed his own dragon core to seal the breach and defend the Tianlin defense line. The scene then shifts to a vast, desolate landscape of ice and snow where the protagonist, Zhu Yi, walks alone, passing through a field of skeletal demons that shatter and reassemble around him. He identifies them as the bone demons of Frostfang's enemies, cursed to guard his tomb for eternity, reanimated by the energy from Frostfang's own scales, a cruel and intricate form of revenge devised by the Zhu family ancestor. Understanding that they only attack those with hostile intent, he walks calmly through the horde, vowing to one day surpass the power of his ancestor. Deeper within the icy abyss, he finally confronts the source of the power, the massive, spectral form of the ice dragon Frostfang, who awakens with a furious roar. Its mind is shattered from a century of solitude, and it immediately accuses Zhu Yi of being one of the tormentors who trapped it, screaming that tales of its heroism are lies, and that its own dragon core was dug out by traitors. Realizing that reason is useless against the deranged dragon, Zhu Yi prepares for battle, hoping a fight will shock its memory back to clarity. Declaring he will not return empty-handed, he summons a blade of golden light, ready to face the legendary beast. The story then cuts away to a modern-looking room where the fiery, red-haired Shen Lingfeng trades barbs with the calm, white-haired Jiang Churen. Their banter is interrupted by a frantic blue-haired girl, who bursts in with a desperate plea for them to evacuate immediately on her father's orders. They refuse to leave without knowing why, especially since their brother Zhu Yi is still facing the dangers of the ice dragon abyss alone. A flashback reveals the events of half an hour prior, where the elderly Zhu family patriarch, Zhu Heng, is negotiating with a mysterious and powerful woman in a wide-brimmed hat known as Lady Hong. She has come for her annual tribute of treasures in exchange for the life-saving cold marrow crystal. After freezing Zhu Heng's defenses with a casual display of power, she declares that this year treasures are not enough. She demands a living person, Zhu Yi himself. The patriarch is horrified and staunchly refuses to trade a member of his family, a genius who is their future, for survival. The elders are divided, torn between protecting Zhu Yi and saving the clan's children who will die from the bloodline freezing curse without the crystals. Enraged by the refusal, Lady Hong cuts off their supply and attacks, intending to take what she wants by force, swiftly incapacitating the guard Xiaobai with a flurry of red energy threads. Back in the present, Lady Hong has defeated the patriarch's forces and now faces Shen Lingfeng and Jiang Churen, mocking their futile resistance as she easily binds them with her blood thread snare. She captures Zhu Yi's younger sister, Zhu Yun, knowing this will force Zhu Yi to appear. Pushed to the brink, Jiang Churen taps into a hidden power, her body erupting in a violent pink aura as she screams for more strength to fight back. The elderly patriarch, Zhu Heng, makes a final stand, ordering the others to escape with the children while he holds off Lady Hong and her army of puppets. The scene snaps back to the ice dragon abyss, where Zhu Yi's battle with Frostfang reaches its climax. Zhu Yi unleashes a calming holy power called the Hand of God, which pacifies the raging dragon. With its sanity restored, Zhu Yi introduces himself as a descendant of its former master, Zhu Fan, and explains how his ancestor sealed Frostfang's soul to preserve it after its noble sacrifice. Moved and seeing that Zhu Yi's own life force is damaged, Frostfang offers the last of its power, its dragon soul, to heal him, warning that the fusion will be agonizing beyond measure. Zhu Yi unflinchingly accepts, stating that the pain of being too weak to protect his loved ones is the only pain he truly fears. The fusion begins, an excruciating process where his very meridians are shattered and reforged by the dragon's soul. Upon its completion, a system window announces his second awakening, foundation fully repaired, a massive boost to his ice affinity, and the acquisition of the powerful skill Dragon God's Body. He emerges reborn and immensely more powerful. Meanwhile, Shen Lingfeng is being brutally tortured by Lady Hong, yet he refuses to release his protective grip on Zhu Yun, even as his bones are shattered. Just as Lady Hong is about to deliver a killing blow, an overwhelming pressure descends upon the battlefield. Zhu Yi arrives in a torrent of golden light, cradling an unconscious Xiaobai, his eyes glowing with cold fury. He unleashes Holy Thunder, a devastating attack that instantly obliterates Lady Hong's elite puppet army. Now sporting glowing blue horns and an aura of immense power, he confronts the shocked sorceress. With chilling confidence, he unleashes a wave of absolute zero, instantly freezing her remaining forces solid. Stunned that a level 30 could possess such power, she attempts to trap him with her crimson threads, but he shatters them with a sacred storm. Cornered and terrified, Lady Hong begs for her life, offering her guild's entire cold marrow crystal mine and even her own servitude as a subordinate, all while secretly maneuvering a puppet string to activate a teleport escape. Zhu Yi sees through the ruse, calmly stating that a true powerhouse is not swayed by temptation, and cuts her down with a final, decisive slash of holy energy. He lands softly, holding his sister, and announces, "I'm back." Shen Lingfeng stares in utter disbelief, vowing to one day become as strong as the man who defeated his unbeatable foe in mere moments. before comically snapping out of it to ask for healing. Later, Zhu Yi has a private audience with the patriarch, who explains the full depth of the Zhu family's curse, the bloodline freezing that slowly kills their members and their forced dependency on the mermaid merchant guild. Zhu Yi reveals that he has absorbed Frostfang's soul, which has not only cured him but granted him his new power, bringing tears of joy to the old man's eyes. The patriarch, filled with hope, details the guild's suspicious rise to power under its leader Liu Xuan, and reveals that the crystals they've received have been tainted with a demonic aura. Zhu Yi recognizes the familiar dark energy, and the patriarch confirms that a mysterious and powerful lord is the true mastermind behind the guild. Zhu Yi accepts the burden of this new enemy, and the patriarch pledges the full support of the entire Zhu family. As he steps outside, he finds his friends, Shen Lingfeng, Jiang Churen, and others, waiting, having been sent by their principal to aid him, all of them stronger and resolved to keep pace with their incredible leader. Lingxi, a girl with bright blue hair, stands beside a friend, remarking how Lingxi wanted to ask Brother Yi about ice magic, but chickened out the moment she saw him. The group prepares for a journey to the ominous Black Wind Mountain, with an elder telling Zhu Yi he bears a striking resemblance to their ancestor. As they discuss the cold, Zhu Yi enters an internal monologue, reflecting on a sudden system mission that has forced him to work alongside these companions. He realizes that while he could have infiltrated the valley alone using his void beast power, the system's insistence on teamwork must have a deeper meaning. He concludes that companions aren't burdens. They are the reason a mighty lion can rest peacefully, a source of strength that guards against unforeseen threats. He glances at his party, the impulsive Wai Taixin, the boisterous Song Xiaolan, the sharp-tongued Shen Lingfeng, the shy Tang Lingxi, and the gentle Zioran, acknowledging them all as his true companions. One day later they arrive at Black Wind Valley, an icy wasteland shrouded in a blood-red mist. Finding the map useless for the interior, Zhu Yi summons a glowing blue void butterfly, using its positioning skill to mark their location for a safe return. To combat the biting cold, which feels like thorns against the skin, Zhu Yi envelops his party in a brilliant golden aura, casting a series of powerful buffs including God's Grace and Guardian's Grace. Shen Lingfeng, a fiery red-haired warrior, marvels as her combat power surges by nearly a third. Without warning, slimy silver tendrils erupt from the snow, ensnaring Shen Lingfeng's ankle. Before she can react, Brother Yi is upon her, his blade flashing in a golden arc that cleanly severs the living tentacle. He ignites the writhing appendage with holy fire, causing it to sizzle and burn away. To uncover the source of the attack, he instructs the Taoist, Xiaolan, to scan the entire cliff face with her spirit art. Xiaolan performs a ritual, manifesting a massive golden yin-yang diagram in the air and chanting, "Open." The spell peels back the illusion of the mountain, revealing a grotesque reality. The entire cliff is a single colossal entity made of writhing flesh, countless tendrils, and thousands of unblinking eyes. As the monstrosity attacks, Xiaolan summons a massive spirit Dao evil-suppressing talisman, but its slime-like substance simply absorbs the spiritual energy, rendering the powerful spell useless. Seeing that magic is ineffective, Wai Taixin shouts, "Here comes your young master," as he leaps into the fray, unleashing a mountain breaker strike. A colossal wave of blue energy carves through the monsters, proving that physical attacks work. The creatures, however, endlessly regenerate from the mountain's body. During the chaotic battle, Lingxi spots a waste token from the Tianlin Liu family on one of the monsters, and Zhu Yi deduces that these creatures are the remains of previous explorers who were absorbed into the mountain. Declaring they must strike at the root, Zhu Yi unleashes a massive blast of golden energy that shatters the entire cliff face. The destruction of the facade reveals the truth. Black Wind Valley is a massive, hidden dungeon. Zhu Yi explains that anyone who fails the dungeon's test is turned into a monster for the next intruder. As he finishes his explanation, the space around them shatters into mirror-like shards, from which emerge the monsters of the second level. The mirrors separate the group, trapping each member in a pocket dimension to face their ultimate foe, a perfect replica of themselves. Wai Taixin finds himself in a stone arena, clashing with his doppelganger. He quickly realizes the clone is only capable of mimicking completed moves, not adapting. "You idiot," he scoffs. "You don't even know what a feint is." Before outmaneuvering it and landing a heavy blow, he knows he must end the fight quickly before his replica can fully learn his style. Elsewhere, Shen Lingfeng faces her own fiery clone. "Today, I'll show you the difference between the original and the knockoff," she roars, igniting her flame dragon body. She unleashes a devastating spiraling fire attack called Heaven-Burning Sting. Though the clone copies the move, Shenling Feng exploits its inability to replicate the subtle changes in her power, landing a fatal blow through its chest. "You clumsy fool," she says, as she obliterates the copy with one final explosive burst of flame. Song Xiaolan, the Taoist, calmly lectures her replica. "You don't use Taoist talismans like that," she chides. She explains that true power comes from borrowing the spiritual energy of the Tao, the wind, the rain, the very essence of nature. The clone can imitate the form, but because it lacks a heart, its talismans are merely empty, powerless shells. Lingxi, the ice mage, patiently waits for her own clone to reveal a weakness. She soon discovers it. The clone's ice constructs lack the intricate frost patterns that her own precision elemental control creates. "You can only copy the shell," she declares, "but what you can't learn is not just the details." She demonstrates the power of a true mage by making the elements cooperate, weaving a complex spell of ice and wind that easily overwhelms and shatters her crude copy. Zhu Yi confronts his own golden-armored replica. He quickly notices a slight delay in its mimicry and traces the source to a large, crystalline mirror in the background that is reflecting and analyzing his every action. "Don't forget," he tells the clone with a smirk, "you came from me." He then turns and fires a massive blast of holy light, completely shattering the mirror and destroying his copy's source of power. Re-emerging from his trial, he finds his friends in a panic. They direct him to the plight of Xiaoran, who is being viciously attacked by her own replica. The replica mercilessly taunts Xiaoran's gentle nature, calling her a coward for suppressing her powerful succubus bloodline. Terrified of losing control as she has in the past, Xiaoran holds back, allowing the replica to dominate her with a vicious demon's blade attack. Zhu Yi recognizes that her fear is the true enemy and that he must intervene decisively. He tells his party to stand back. He shatters the energy hub of the entire second stage with a single, overwhelming blast of power. He finds Xiaoran being held captive by her replica. He tries to use his holy light, but realizes its purifying nature would harm Xiaoran's demonic bloodline. Instead, he encases the struggling replica in a tomb of solid blue ice, restraining it without hurting Xiaoran's physical body. This act of brute force triggers the dungeon's ultimate purge protocol. All the monsters from the previous stages are resurrected and forcibly stitched together into grotesque, powerful abominations. Realizing the dungeon's hidden boss is now throwing everything it has at him, Zhu Yi makes a hard choice. He instructs Xia Lan to seal the unconscious Xiaoran inside a protective ice coffin, knowing the final boss will be drawn to her. As the horde of fused monsters bears down on them, his team cries out that they can't possibly hold them all off. "Everyone, fall back," Zhu Yi commands. "Protect yourselves with your strongest defenses." He gathers his energy, preparing to unleash a move so powerful it will break the entire dungeon and save them all. In the depths of a chaotic dungeon, Zhu Yi and his companions watch in horror as the monstrous creatures around them are pulled into a swirling purple vortex, their essences merging into a single, terrifying being with a gleaming silver core. Sensing its overwhelming power, double that of all the previous monsters combined, Zhu Yi knows he must act decisively. He invokes a divine power, his voice echoing as he calls forth divine summoning LV1 S rank. From the heavens descends a brilliant golden light, which coalesces into the form of a majestic, fully armored angel with 6 radiant wings. The sheer pressure of its arrival momentarily pacifies the dungeon's chaotic energy, stunning Zhu Yi's red-haired and young girl companions, who are in awe of his ability to summon such a powerful entity. Despite the heavy toll, an instant 30% loss of his health, and a continuous drain on his mental energy, Zhu Yi issues a single, clear command to his celestial warrior: "Target, eliminate all monsters." The angel complies, unleashing a devastating barrage of holy light that eradicates the lesser monsters in a series of blinding explosions. With the angelic summon handling the fodder, Zhu Yi turns his cold, determined gaze to an empty spot in the chamber, his voice cutting through the din. "I'll count to 3, come out." He issues a stark warning that if his true target delays, he will annihilate the entire dimension. As his countdown ends, a massive, crystalline shadow being materializes from the void. The dungeon boss, a corrupted level 50 legendary creature known as the Heart Eater. The boss acknowledges Zhu Yi's formidable power, noting he is the youngest and strongest challenger it has ever faced. Surprisingly, the Heart Eater claims it doesn't wish to fight and offers Zhu Yi a choice. It materializes an array of incredible treasures, including a crimson dragon crystal, a crystal of purification, and mind-calming liquid, specifically mentioning their usefulness for his companion Chu Ran and for lifting his family's curse. It presents these as a reward, urging him to take them and leave peacefully. Zhu Yi, however, sees through the ruse. The boss knows too much about his personal struggles, making it clear this is a carefully laid trap. He declares that while he will indeed take the items that can help his friends, the boss must still face destruction. With a roar, Zhu Yi activates Body of the Dragon God, his body erupting with dark, draconic energy and scales. He lunges forward and smashes his fist into the Heart Eater's form, shattering its crystalline body into a million fragments. But the boss's voice echoes, mocking him for falling for an illusion and calling him obstinate. It then summons spectral copies of Zhu Yi's own companions to attack him. Zhu Yi scoffs, revealing he was prepared and had never planned to fight alone. On his command, the Golden Angel unleashes a final, swirling vortex of holy power that vaporizes the illusions and the last remnants of the boss's power, leaving only shimmering blue mirror shards floating in the aftermath. Zhu Yi touches a shard, and his mind is flooded with visions of the past. He witnesses the dungeon's origin. 10 years ago, a desperate man made a pact with the dark entity to save his daughter, agreeing to lure people to Black Wind Valley to be consumed as nourishment. This man founded the Mermaid Commerce Guild, using the promise of riches to feed countless souls to the entity, a decade of sin and sacrifice recorded in the fragments. The shards then merge into a single purple gem, the dungeon core. A system notification informs him he has gained 30% control over the entire dungeon. As he grasps his new power, feeling his consciousness expand to every corner of the domain, his companions appear, his sister Xiao Yun having followed him out of worry. For their victory, the system awards each of them an S-rank skill book tailored to their class, which Zhu Yi distributes freely, stating that their success was a team effort. His friends are ecstatic, their morale soaring as they prepare to test their new abilities. After gifting the mind-calming liquid to Chu Ran, Zhu Yi delves back into the core's memories, determined to uncover the enemy's ultimate plan. Filtering through the chaos, he sees fragmented words: sacrifice, pathway, territory, open. He recoils, the horrifying truth dawning on him. The aura matches that of the demon clan he'd fought before. The dungeon boss was not just a monster. It was the seed of an otherworldly gate, and the victims of the Mermaid Guild were sacrifices to fuel its opening, paving the way for a full-scale demonic invasion of their world. Realizing his team is not yet ready for such a threat, he devises a plan for special training. Using his control over the dungeon, he generates powerful, simulated opponents for them to fight, allowing them to master their S-rank skills in grueling, realistic combat. As his friends train, his sister alerts him to a new arrival. The bad woman in the red dress, Red Madam, has entered Black Wind Valley. Zhu Yi's perception now covers the entire area like a flawless security network. He sees Red Madam, weakened from a previous encounter, cautiously sending her puppets to scout. A predatory smile crosses Zhu Yi's face as he tells his sister they are about to play a game of cat and mouse. Red Madam finds her communications jammed and her puppets instantly destroyed. As she panics, Zhu Yi's power asserts itself, creating an army of replicas of her own puppets and turning her original ones against her, all while tormenting her with visions of her past victims. Utterly outmatched and terrified by his absolute control over the domain, Red Madam breaks. Her only thought is to escape and warn her master, fleeing for her life as the dungeon itself seems to crumble around her. Red Madam Hong is tormented by phantoms from her past, specters of people begging for their lives while accusing her of betrayal, their ghostly forms surrounding her in a whirlwind of guilt. A particularly painful memory surfaces, showing her godmother giving her the name Hong in a moment of kindness that now feels like a cruel joke. The illusions intensify, replaying bitter arguments with her former mentor, forcing her to relive the moment she chose power over loyalty, her voice echoing in the illusionary space as she proclaims the weak girl she once was died long ago in the slums. With a scream of defiance, she shatters the mental projections, panting as she realizes her deepest memories were weaponized against her. Her relief is short-lived, as she finds herself trapped within an endless maze of crystalline mirrors, a sophisticated prison designed to break her spirit. Enraged by the trickery, she summons her loyal guard puppets, hulking constructs of dark metal, and commands them to shatter her reflective cage. To her absolute horror, the puppets' eyes glow with an unfamiliar, hostile blue light as they turn on their master, their metallic claws aimed directly at her. She screams at them to stop, her commands useless as she realizes her connection to them has been severed and usurped by her unseen enemy. A chilling understanding dawns upon her. Her foe possesses power far beyond mere illusion, capable of seizing control of her most powerful assets. Panic sets in, and her only thought is to escape the deadly maze and report this terrifying new threat to her boss, the powerful Liu Xuan. As she turns to flee, shimmering blue strings of pure energy erupt from the mirrors, ensnaring her limbs and hoisting her into the air like a helpless insect caught in a spider's web. The calm, cold voice of Zhu Yi echoes through the maze, mocking her struggles and telling her to savor the same despair she once inflicted upon her own helpless victims. She desperately tries to negotiate, warning him of the Commerce Guild's immense power, but he dismisses her threats with cold indifference. Pushed to the brink, she plays her final card, summoning a volatile, explosive puppet infused with unstable energy, intending to obliterate the entire dimension in a suicidal blast. The puppet begins to glow with blinding pink light, but before it can detonate, Zhu Yi's voice cuts through the air, informing her that she does not have his permission to die. The imminent explosion is instantly snuffed out, leaving Madame Hong alive but utterly broken, her spirit shattered as she weakly calls her captor a devil and begs for the death he denied her. Zhu Yi finally reveals himself, stepping into the icy, crystalline landscape of his mirror prison and asking her why she, who so enjoyed watching others squirm in desperation, is now so eager for her own end. As Madame Hong trembles, a small, blue-haired girl, Xiao Yun, materializes at Zhu Yi's side. With a resolve that belies her age, Xiao Yun asks her brother for permission to face the defeated woman herself, determined to conquer the fear Madame Hong instilled in her and prevent her from becoming a permanent nightmare. Zhu Yi nods in approval, stepping back to watch over his sister as she approaches the trapped villain. Madame Hong scoffs at the child, but Xiao Yun, her fear replaced by courage, points a finger and declares her a bad woman before summoning a blade of pure blue energy and lunging forward. Though weakened and bound, Madame Hong's pride erupts, and she unleashes her remaining power, sprouting wings of dark crimson energy to meet the girl's charge. Just as her claws are about to strike, Xiao Yun stands her ground, and a formidable wall of razor-sharp blue ice crystals erupts from the floor, impaling Madame Hong and freezing her in place. With a final, powerful declaration that the villain will never threaten her brother again, Xiao Yun solidifies her victory. A system window, visible only to Zhu Yi, announces that his control over the mirror prison has increased to 35%, and the Crimson Silk Phantom has been successfully catalogued. Zhu Yi pulls his sister into a comforting embrace, praising her bravery and telling her that she has truly grown up. Far away in a dimly lit opulent chamber, the guild leader Liu Xuan is informed of Madame Hong's failure and dismisses his subordinate as useless trash without a second thought. He gathers his elite enforcers, a menacing squad known as the Dark Owl, and commands them to hunt down the rat who has disrupted his operations in Black Wind Valley. Back within the mirror prison, Zhu Yi formulates his next move, deciding the evidence of the guild's horrific human sacrifices must be sent to his teacher immediately. He establishes a connection, urgently explaining that the Mermaid Guild is feeding living people to a nascent, otherworldly gate, a portal for a demonic invasion. Alarmed, his teacher promises to mobilize the military and orders Zhu Yi and his friends to evacuate the compromised area at once. The communication is abruptly cut off as a colossal, foreboding wave of dark red energy crashes down upon the valley, signaling Liu Xuan's premature arrival. Zhu Yi hastily assembles his comrades, the fiery Shen Lingfeng, the calm Xiao Ran, and others, and explains the dire new situation. They are outnumbered and severely outleveled. Despite the overwhelming odds, his friends unanimously refuse to abandon him, their loyalty overriding their fear as they declare their intent to fight as a team. Moved by their courage, Zhu Yi quickly formulates a new, risky strategy. He will use the mirror prison's power to warp space, separating Liu Xuan's 5 powerful subordinates into individual pocket dimensions where his friends can fight them one-on-one, their goal not to win, but to stall for time. With a deafening cry of "Begin!" Zhu Yi unleashes the core's power, shattering reality around them. Shen Lingfeng is transported to a rocky wasteland, where he faces a hulking dark warrior who scoffs at his low level and boasts that in a contest of pure strength, he is unbeatable. The warrior charges with a fist wreathed in fire, but Lingfeng cleverly sidesteps the blow and retaliates with a continuous blast of purple, dragon's breath flame, opting to wear down his heavily armored opponent. The warrior roars in fury as the flames sear his skin, his body glowing an ominous red as he activates a vampiric art, Bloodbath Fury, which summons tendrils of blood from the ground to drain Lingfeng's life force. Elsewhere, the swift assassin Shadowsting is trapped in a dimension of floating blades with Xiao Ran. He is initially dismissive of his young opponent, but his confidence shatters when her Phantom Sword Shadow formation perfectly counters his stealth techniques, the swirling blades forcing him into the open. Frustrated by the poison coating her blades and the formation's speed-draining aura, he abandons stealth and lunges directly at her, aiming for a single killing blow. In a brilliant sacrificial move, Xiao Ran allows one of her phantom swords to be caught, trapping the assassin's arm just long enough for her to summon her ultimate attack, a colossal energy sword that descends from the heavens with the command, "Return to silence." In the central space, Zhu Yi stands alone against the formidable Liu Xuan, who is amused that a mere level 30 mouse managed to capture his subordinates. Zhu Yi calmly taunts him about the gate to another world, confirming the guild leader's suspicions that Madame Hong revealed everything. Enraged at the boy's defiance, Liu Xuan unleashes a devastating, hellish torrent of corrosive dark energy. Not flinching, Zhu Yi counters with his own S-rank paladin skill, Judgment of Justice, opening a holy magic circle in the sky that rains down spears of pure light. The cataclysmic collision of light and darkness tears the landscape apart, and though his holy power counters the dark energy, the immense difference in levels leaves Zhu Yi wounded and staggering. Seeing his opponent falter, Liu Xuan decides to end the fight, activating the power of his epic-grade dark compass and fusing with its demonic energy, his power levels skyrocketing to an overwhelming degree. Zhu Yi knows he cannot win a direct confrontation, especially while mentally sustaining 5 separate battle dimensions for his friends. He makes a desperate choice. He will gamble everything on one final, all-or-nothing attack by withdrawing all the mental energy supporting his friends and pouring it into the core of the mirror prison. Liu Xuan sees the shift in energy and erupts in maniacal laughter, mocking the boy for trying to protect others when he is about to be annihilated himself. Chapter begins with a resplendent, golden-armored figure wreathed in holy light, a paladin who defies common sense. He stands in opposition to a man in sinister red armor, identified as Blood Blade, declaring that he will demonstrate the unbridgeable chasm between a level 30 and a level 46. The paladin unleashes a skill, Punishment of Light, causing the very ground to erupt with golden energy. A system window details his next attack, Sacred Thunder, Chains of Heavenly Prison, a skill that manipulates sacred thunder to form an inescapable cage. The gleaming golden chains shoot up, wrapping tightly around Blood Blade and locking him in place. With his foe immobilized, the paladin summons a colossal, glowing golden palm in the sky, a divine technique called Hand of God, preparing to obliterate his captive. Before the golden hand can descend, a brilliant beam of crystalline blue energy streaks across the battlefield, striking the hand and encasing it in thick, shimmering ice. The attack came from a young man with stark white hair named Frost Fang, who now stands ready for battle. Blood Blade, still trapped in the holy chains, erupts in maniacal laughter, mocking Frost Fang's futile attempt at a rescue. The paladin, unimpressed, activates another ability, Sacred Thunder, Stance of Revelation, which causes his golden aura to flare intensely, boosting his lightning damage and resistance. He cruelly tells Frost Fang to watch and feel the bone-deep powerlessness as his companions meet their end. Suddenly, a dark-haired man observing from the sidelines senses an immense and terrifying psychic fluctuation, realizing with horror that the core of the mirror prison is destabilizing. He identifies the awakening of a being far beyond their power, at least level 60, and Blood Blade himself panics, pleading with his unseen lord to remain calm, as he has not yet prepared the required sacrifices. The very fabric of space begins to crack and shatter like glass around them. A woman with flowing black hair remarks to Blood Blade that he has finished his part of the plan, just as a swirling vortex of purple and black energy rips open. From within the vortex, a monstrous, shadowy feminine entity emerges, its voice echoing with a primal need for food and energy. The horrifying creature immediately seizes one of the cultists, a man named Shikai, who screams for Captain Feng Xian to save him. Feng Xian, the dark-haired man, watches with a cold, emotionless expression, instructing another of his followers to consume a blood marrow pill, calmly stating that to be chosen by the master is a blessing. The great beast devours Shikai whole. Feng Xian then commands his remaining subordinates to guard the master while he departs to gather a new batch of sacrifices, ordering them to kill the remaining prisoners, Zhu Yi and the paladin, and feed them to the insatiable entity. As the monster's shadowy tendrils close in, it shifts its attention, sensing a far more delectable meal. It fixates on Zhu Yi, calling his holy power pure, delicious food. The creature's corrosive dark energy lashes out, striking the paladin's golden defenses and causing his holy power to drain at an alarming rate as the beast accuses him of stealing its food. Just as the monster declares their crime worthy of 1,000 deaths and prepares to strike, a powerful voice booms from above, announcing the arrival of the Jiangxia Nation's Demon Hunting Division. Dozens of heavily armed soldiers and towering white mechs descend from the sky, landing with thunderous impact. They waste no time, immediately neutralizing the remaining cultists with overwhelming force. A female officer in a sleek mech approaches Zhu Yi, instructing him to cooperate and evacuate to a safe zone. Zhu Yi, however, looks to the sky with grave concern, warning her that the creature's energy is skyrocketing because their arrival has angered it. As if on cue, the swirling dark vortex expands, and a horde of demonic creatures begins to pour out from the otherworldly gate. A rugged military commander with green-tinged hair begins barking orders, deploying his squads to contain the monsters and establish an isolation barrier. Zhu Yi's teacher, another high-ranking officer, appears at his side, and Zhu Yi immediately rushes to his fallen friend, a white-haired girl, discovering with dread that she has been afflicted with a deadly poison that has already invaded her heart meridians. Zhu Yi urgently reports to his teacher and the commander that their conventional artillery is only making the gate stronger, as it's visibly absorbing the energy from their attacks. The gruff commander, General Nil, dismisses the warning, proclaiming that any problem can be solved with enough firepower, and orders his forces to switch to a random saturation strike protocol, constantly shifting the energy attributes of their attacks to overwhelm the gate. The military complies, launching a massive, coordinated barrage of missiles and multicolored energy beams from a full-spectrum elemental cannon. In a horrifying turn of events, the gate absorbs the entirety of the massive assault before reflecting it back with equal force, devastating the military's front line. General Nil receives a grim report that the gate is evolving faster than anticipated. Zhu Yi's teacher explains their desperate, standard procedure for such situations, sacrificing soldiers' lives to probe the gate's defenses and locate its core. Holding the crystal from the mirror prison, Zhu Yi announces that he can vaguely sense the gate's core, an unstable convergence of energy within it. He proposes a dangerous plan. He will create a temporary path to enter the gate himself and mark the core's exact location, but he will need the military to launch a full-scale offensive to divert the gate's attention. His teacher immediately forbids it, calling the mission suicide, but Zhu Yi argues that they have no other choice as the gate continues to grow stronger. General Nil, impressed by the young man's courage, agrees to the plan and orders all units to commence maximum firepower. The battlefield erupts in chaos as light mages gather to unleash purification magic, drawing the gate's ire. A young woman, Zhu Yi's companion, lends her own energy to replenish and stabilize the mage's power. Under the cover of the massive diversion, Zhu Yi and the now-allied Blood Blades sneak toward the raging portal, but are spotted by a hulking demonic guardian. The military provides cover with a massive Aegis of Earth spell, allowing the pair to slip past the demonic hordes and into the gate. Inside the swirling chaos, they are confronted by the gate's inner consciousness, a massive entity with glowing yellow eyes. Bloodblade holds off an attack while Zhu Yi successfully focuses his energy, marking the core's location. Outside, an officer confirms the mark is locked and gives the order to fire the ship's main breach cannon. The gate goes berserk, unleashing a powerful shockwave that causes military equipment to fail and ships to fall from the sky. In a desperate act of self-preservation, the gate begins devouring the nearby demons to absorb their life force and resist the incoming attack. Seizing the opportunity, Zhu Yi's teacher unleashes his own ultimate weapon, the legendary-grade Spear of Judgment, calling upon the holy light for a final, thorough purification. The spear strikes true, and the gate is annihilated in a blinding explosion, but Zhu Yi is caught in the blast, and a system message indicates his consciousness has been shattered. His comrades rush to place his unconscious body in a highest-spec life support pod. Even after the gate's destruction, its malevolent energy attempts to reform from the flesh and blood of the fallen demons. The teacher refuses to allow it, activating his domain of punishment, purification. A furious, disembodied voice curses the Blue Star humans, warning that more rifts will open, and they will all pay the price before the holy light finally purges the last of its existence. Later, in a quiet medical bay, Zhu Yi floats unconscious in the healing pod as his friends watch over him. The white-haired girl ponders the demon's final, chilling word: "Invaders." The teacher and General Nil discuss the battle's aftermath before receiving an alert about a new rift opening in another city. When the general suggests bringing the uniquely gifted Zhu Yi, the teacher furiously rejects the idea, declaring that their duty as the older generation is to protect children from the horrors of war. Some time later, Zhu Yi awakens with a start inside the medical pod, greeted by a blonde woman named Executor Y. She informs him that his teacher is dealing with the new rift and that the military, as a reward for his valor, has granted him official ownership of the entire Black Wind Valley region. After once again declining her offer to join the Tianyu Guild, Zhu Yi is left alone to contemplate his newfound power, concluding that he must build his own kingdom under his absolute control to face the wars to come. He returns to the Zhu family home and reunites with his cousins, telling his brother they are going to the heart of the family to claim what is theirs. Meanwhile, the Zhu family elders are in a state of panic. Their supply of cold marrow crystals, essential for the survival of the clan's children, has been cut off. Zhu Yi strides into the tense meeting hall where the clan head has deliberately left the main seat of power empty. At the clan head's instruction, Zhu Yi takes the seat, much to the outrage of the other elders. Ignoring their protests, Zhu Yi makes a stunning declaration. His younger cousin, Zhu Yun, will be the next heir to the family, and all of the clan's resources will be dedicated to her cultivation. As the elders erupt in furious protest, Zhu Yi silences them by releasing a wave of overwhelmingly powerful and cold energy, his eyes glowing with icy light, challenging anyone to question whether she is worthy. An elder can only sputter in rage at his audacity to use force in the sacred meeting hall. A vortex of pure, crystalline turquoise energy swirls violently, with the MC, Zhu Yi, sitting calmly at its epicenter, his eyes closed as he manipulates the immense power around him. An elder of the Zhu family objects vehemently to the proceedings, his face a mask of indignation as he protests that making the young Zhu Yun the heir is a rash decision that insults the other outstanding disciples. Despite his protest, the elder is visibly shaken by the sheer pressure emanating from Zhu Yi, recognizing that although the young man is merely a second-rank practitioner, his power rivals that of a level 40, and the magnificent ice dragon manifesting in the energy is a display of terrifying might. Zhu Yi opens his eyes, a cool confidence in his gaze as he declares, "I am the new rules," stating that this pointless debate is over and he must shatter their old ways for them to understand. The clan leader watches intently, internally noting the terrifying rate of Zhu Yi's growth and his perfect, contained control over his immense power. With a wave of his hand, Zhu Yi materializes colossal, glowing frost marrow crystals before the stunned elders, explaining that while they pay a fortune for these annually, he now controls their source, Black Wind Valley, and its unimaginable reserves, which he offers to the family for mining to secure their future. The clan leader is overjoyed, immediately ordering 100 clan members to be dispatched to the valley. Another elder, however, expresses his unease, muttering that this is not a gift but a hostile takeover, a seizure of power through overwhelming force. Zhu Yi simply smirks, retorting that what he is giving them is something no worldly power could ever grant them. He presses his advantage, questioning the third elder about the astronomical costs and political favors the family expends just to secure dungeon access for its disciples, a burden the elder dismisses as the norm. Zhu Yi then presents a revolutionary idea, asking them to imagine a scenario where the Zhu family possesses its very own private, upgradable dungeon that grants recognition from the eternal rules. The third elder scoffs at the proposition, calling Zhu Yi mad and reminding him that nearly all dungeons are controlled by the military and the 3 great guilds, asking if he's arrogant enough to claim he has one. In response, Zhu Yi says nothing, instead allowing a massive, ethereal blue crystalline portal to begin manifesting in the air behind him, its otherworldly energy silencing all dissent. The portal fully materializes, a grand, floating gate of shimmering blue crystal, as a system window appears before the clan, identifying the gate as the Mirror Prison Diamond Grade dungeon, complete with difficulty settings and level requirements. The clan members stare in utter disbelief, realizing this is a resource that even the most powerful families would covet, a private dungeon that will save them a fortune and provide an inexhaustible training ground, a true path to the heavens for their clan. Zhu Yi turns to the once skeptical third elder, a challenging glint in his eye, and asks if he dares to test the quality of this madness. Defeated and in awe, the third elder admits the portal is real, and that Zhu Yi is rewriting the family's very destiny, his true strength far beyond their comprehension. With a newfound fervor, the elder completely reverses his stance, passionately endorsing Zhu Yun as the heir, calling her a generational prodigy and a blessing to the family. The clan leader, seeing the unified support, makes it official. From this day forward, Zhu Yun is the one and only young master of the family, her command supreme. Zhu Yi then begins mentally configuring the new dungeon, deciding on a glacial terrain and populating the first stage with monsters that create frost zones to teach the disciples about movement and control. For the hard mode boss, he selects the Red Silk Phantom, a powerful entity absorbed by the dungeon's core from a previous foe, Lady Hong. As he weaves the dungeon's very fabric with his thoughts, the blue energy swirling around him, He marvels at the creator-like power he wields with only 35% control. He briefly wonders what 100% control would allow, questioning if he could alter fundamental rules or even bring its creations into reality. But the thought causes a painful backlash of power. A wise, spectral figure appears beside him, cautioning him that a true master wields his power and is not devoured by it, reminding him the dungeon is a tool for the family's growth, not his own desires. Later, Zhu Yun approaches her brother, her expression troubled, and confesses her deep-seated fears that she cannot bear the immense responsibility of being the young chief and will ultimately disappoint everyone. Zhu Yi gently reassures her, pinching her cheek affectionately and telling her that she has never and will never be a disappointment to him. He then begins to explain the harsh reality of their family's situation, describing the Zhu family as a magnificent but old ship, riddled with holes and barely staying afloat by begging its enemies for resources. He warns that the peace they know is fragile, and that when a true storm comes, the old ship and all its passengers will be doomed, their fates decided by others. He tells her they must become the ones at the helm. Zhu Yun understands his meaning. He is supporting the family to turn it into their ship, a new power base. Zhu Yi confirms this, explaining that to make the ancient ship reborn, it needs a crucial core component, her high-purity ice bloodline, which makes her the orthodox heir and the perfect bridge between him, an outsider, and the Zhu family. A fire ignites in Zhu Yun's eyes as she understands her purpose. She cannot remain the little sister who needs protection but must become his most reliable partner, declaring she can bear the responsibility. At the grand ceremony, Zhu Yun ascends the platform in her formal robes, looking regal despite her youth. The clan leader stands before a great ice sculpture and officially bestows upon her the title of young chief, her authority now second to none. As she kneels and swears her oath to the ice goddess, a tremendous vortex of blue energy erupts from her, stunning the crowd. While some fear the goddess's disapproval, the red-haired Shen Lingfeng reassures Zhu Yi that this is a gift, a resonance caused by Zhu Yun's incredible bloodline purity. A divine voice echoes through the hall, proclaiming that ice shall be her scepter, as a glowing blue snowflake symbol materializes on her forehead. The clan leader, weeping with joy, recognizes the legendary Divine Grace Baptism, the sign of an S-rank talent awakening. A system window confirms it. Zhu Yun now possesses the S-rank legacy of the Ice Goddess talent, the same as their founding ancestor. The crowd erupts in cheers, seeing this as a sign that the heavens bless the Zhu family and their revival is at hand. Zhu Yun rises, her presence now commanding, and addresses the clan, her voice filled with newfound confidence. She rallies them with a powerful speech, promising that this is the dawn of a new era of strength and hope for the Zhu family, and the crowd chants her new title with fervor. Standing before the glowing mirror prison portal, she issues her first command as young chief, a monthly leaderboard for the dungeon, with the top 3 performers, regardless of their status, gaining access to the clan's treasure pavilion, and the top 10 receiving priority access to the purest frost marrow crystals for their cultivation. The younger disciples are ecstatic, celebrating the new merit-based system that allows them to earn power and resources through their own strength, free from the old system of bribery and connections.